It's happening. Is it happening?
Hello everybody, how's it going, and welcome back to the Kill Corner Club podcast, episode 114, the last podcast of the year. Shit, I forgot the fucking intro. I'm one of your hosts, James, and I'm joined, as always, by Tyler.
114, the best and last Kill Corner Club.
As always, how's it going, my friend?
It's going really good.
By the fine people over at patreon.com/asalways.
Oh man.
We're here.
We're naming it.
We're Eddie and Sheps here with our boys Lasers HD and our bro from down below.
There you go.
Ty.
There you go.
How you doing, boys?
What's up, mate?
Appreciate the save there.
That's the biggest shit show. We've done 5.5 years of doing this show, of hundreds of podcasts. That is up there with one of the shittiest shows, intros of all time.
I can't believe I fucked up the intro. I can't believe after all this time I forgot the fucking intro.
And it's the last time you're doing it. The last time you ever said welcome back to another episode of the Kill Club podcast. The last Kill Corner Club podcast of all time.
Sake.
Before, of course, we rebrand, ladies and gentlemen. The show's not going anywhere. We're not fucking ending the show. It's just the name, the rebrand, restructure.
We're never coming back.
A new era begins.
Imagine you've done over 100 episodes of a podcast. Not only is this the last one with the current branding where you forget the intro, but you've also lowered the bar by having us as guests.
Yeah, that's the actual real loss right there.
This is the thing, like, because we have you guys on now, like, and then when we rebrand, it's like, you remember in, like, what was it, 70s and 80s when Coke, like, changed their flavor to shit just so they could change it back and put
right, exactly. Yeah. There's no going lower.
Yeah. So what you guys are is the new Coke recipe, and then next year we're gonna put, we're gonna fix it and
this
back
is
and
the
become
real Coke. This is the original taste, and they'll be like, "Oh yeah, those other fuckers, they ruined it. That's what they do." You know?
You were drinking sewage.
Do you want to take the intro properly this time, James?
Do you want to try again?
Maybe do
Should
it.
we go for a proper take?
Yeah. Hey.
Oh shit! Now I'm under pressure. What if I fuck this up again?
We'll edit it. It's fine.
Yeah,
They'll never know.
Okay. All right. Here we go. Hello, everybody. How's it going? And welcome back to the Kill Corner Club podcast, episode 114, the last one of the year. I'm one of your hosts, James, and I'm joined, as always, by Tyler.
As always, how's it going, my friend?
Pretty good. How you doing?
I'm doing pretty well. I'm excited for this show. You're hungover, but
Wonderful.
that's,
I'm not doing too bad. I think I'm alright, to be honest with you.
Do you?
I think I sound worse than I am, so I think we'll be alright.
Yeah, right. Well, I was still getting messages at 3 in the morning your time from Toby.
Yeah, well...
saying he just left your house.
Yeah, true. Yeah. But I think I'm fine.
So there we are.
Everything's okay. Yeah. Anyway, for this last episode of the year, for the As Always Awards, which everyone can see in the title, we're joined by, obviously, Conbrosations, as you know, I would assume, because we just did an intro just there. But hello, Eddie and Sheps. How's it going? Welcome back.
It's going great. Thank you for having us back. You guys can't see, but I'm wearing a blazer for this As Always Awards because it's a very prestigious event and stuff like that. Exactly. He has a pipe in his mouth. You can't see that.
It's a crack pipe.
Yeah. I mean, it's a pipe nonetheless. He likes to have pipe in his mouth. That's what he likes. So thanks a lot for having us down here. It's obviously a real honor to be with you guys and with the gamers themselves, the sweet vintage lads. It's awesome. Thanks.
That's fantastic. And do you know what? Do you know who the real Sweet Vintage Lads are? Because it's not everyone. It really isn't everyone. If you're listening to this show and you're thinking, "Oh, I'm a Sweet Vintage Lad," that's not true. Unless you're a patron over at patreon.com/as always, which are the real Sweet Vintage Lads, let's be real, who make this show possible. They make all our shows possible that we do with As Always, including the As Always Awards 2019. So we'd like to thank our Patreon producers for making the shows happen. Josh Devillier, King Richard III, Smexy Dork, Real Cinema in Hawkins, a.k.a. HBars12, and Seth. We appreciate you guys. It's been a big year on Patreon, the biggest growth year we've ever had. We've got bigger and better things planned next year. It's all up from here, plus the rebranding of Kill Corner Club to the official As Always podcast, and continuing on with Clubhouse and the Cinema Room. It's exciting times. In 24 hours from now, you'll also get the Rise of Skywalker spoiler cast for Cinema Room on Patreon, 24 hours early, and then on Tuesday, Christmas Eve for everyone else. So there's your Christmas present, and then we'll take a break before we rebrand. It's exciting times. So thank all the Sweet Vintage Lads that are at the $5 tier and up on patreon.com/as always. We have Josh Devillier, King Richard III, Smexy Dork, Real Cinema and Hawkins, aka H-12, Seth, Ballsack 47, Damien, Billy the Team, Dynamite Captain Robertson, Team Anna Travis, Baby Boy, Kimo Saba Gamer, aka my best friend, Toby, Casey Wood, Pink Flame 313, Adam Sunling, Super, Tuber, Eddie, our friend Eddie that is here right now, Alfie Rosell, Jamie Brown, Jesper Olsen, Loomis Strad. I notice that you're not there, chaps. Didlotic, Mario 5380, Did the Freaky with Palpatine, The Creed, Dane Schmidt, Fat Fuck Cuck, Brendan, Rabdrier, Crack, Benedict Parker Returns, Jim Lee, James and Lad, Max H, Gene, Zeke Collins, Son of a Bitch, OG Doggo, George, Noah Watts, Furious Coco, Sab, 2557, Nick Miller, The ACMJS, Travanovsky, Kassassin, Kyle, S. Jaws, Marcus Blackburn, Emil Catborg, Joshua Mora, Ginkgo Swag, Malha has glorious dick, Master Bass, Ashton the Lad, Amir the Synth Potato, Yays and Joe the Sexy Boy Smith, Joe aka Panda Scarab, Iron Man's for the Dads, Deraday, Alfie Rodbear, Brian Ford, Casper Fishy, and Ben Fryer. Thanks to Sweet Vintage Lads for helping power this podcast. All right.
I was gonna pimp this. I was gonna say, are you telling me that for only £5 at patreon.com/as always,
that's $5 American, not even £5, less than
$5, yeah.
$5 even. Oh, five fake monies. You could get this, but then I'm just thinking, like, could you imagine paying for this quality of podcast?
When we're on here, it's not worth paying.
Exactly.
However, the normal stuff probably worth
Right.
it. Probably
Sure,
worth it. That's what
sure.
we're doing right there.
But when we have you guys on, it also makes the next show even better because you can't just
Exactly,
be
'cause
all
we're
up.
not
You know
there.
what I mean? You have to have those low moments to come
That's
up.
right.
Right, it's a roller coaster.
Everyone should pay to get us off the show for future,
Yeah.
not to have future things.
I think we can make
Yeah.
that. We can pitch that.
Exactly.
We'll make that
When the
work.
Patreon starts to dip, they're like, "We're bringing back Conbrosations because you fuckers."
Yeah. Well, how do you know what's good if you've never had the bad?
There you go.
Exactly.
There you go. Quality right
And
there.
that's how
Yeah,
what I
that's a
tell
good
all the girls.
I think Malar's the best.
Exactly.
Is the new best username, by the way. I used to like Fat Fuck Cuck, but now Malar's Glorious Dick is the,
That's
is the
really
best name.
That's your
ever.
new one?
That's
Good
my new
one.
That's good.
That's good. Phenomenal. Well, guys, we're going to get into the awards, and throughout the show, we're going to talk about, we have 9 categories of awards to go through today that was voted on you, the people that listen to this show. The voting closed yesterday. So we're going to go through this show, each of the categories. The 4 of us are going to break down before we announce the official winner. What is our show of the year, game of the year, all of that sort of stuff with the different categories. But there's a few things that's been happening that we need to get through. It's been a while since we've done a Kill Connor Club. There's been lots of cinema rooms. I was away, then I wasn't. A lot of shit's been going on. But there's been things that I want to talk about that, one, we're not going to talk about because we're not looking ahead to 2020 until later on, and it's not in 2020. And then there's all the stuff we're talking about that are nominees in the show. But there's these things in the middle that have happened that aren't nominees but came out in 2019. Things that are happening right now. For example, Star Wars, The Rise of Skywalker, just came out. We've all seen it twice, I think, except maybe
Yeah.
Eddie. Have you seen it twice, Eddie?
I've seen it only once, but I'm planning to go watch it again.
Fake fan.
I'm a fake Star Wars fan.
All right.
Do you
Okay,
even
well,
game?
I mean, I dream about it as well. Does that count? Does that count? That's all.
No, not really. Obviously, we're not going to talk spoilers in this at all. That's for the Cinema Room podcast. And if you want to know Eddie and Sheps, they have the movie club. Their, Kmart version of the Cinema Room that they have over on their channels.
Oh, that's. I mean, it's
Okay.
accurate. It's accurate,
Ouch.
but it hurts.
I mean, I wasn't ready to be personally attacked like that, but
Exactly.
it's not false.
But yeah, it's going to happen on Monday, right?
Yeah. But I want to know, without any spoilers, general talk. Obviously, things we know in the trailer. We know the Emperor's back. That's in the trailers, in the marketing. We know there's things we know. Black Widow dies. We know this.
No, Tyler!
Sorry, shit. Sorry. But yeah, I want to know, James, first of all, because there's going to be some Star Wars chat throughout this.
Sure, yeah.
But generally, and I know James has a bone to pick because I put A New Hope under Rogue One on my Star Wars list. Which, let me explain it, James. Let me explain. Just let me explain this. I want to address this now. Let me address this.
All right.
My list isn't about what is necessarily the best movie. It's just if I'm like sitting there, I want to watch Star Wars in order of what would I want to watch.
Yeah.
James,
But why would you not want to watch A New Hope? That movie is fucking
Let me explain this.
great
Let me
from
explain
start
this
to
to you.
finish.
this is the
Yes,
point,
it is.
James. You could get rid of him before you start the new branding.
Right.
Get someone good.
Get
Yeah, I think
Get
you're
a
right.
taste.
I think I'm gonna need to. I can't deal with this. I'm upset, and I'm too tired and hungover, and you're trying to tell me that Rogue One's better than A New Hope, and I don't like it.
Oh God! Saying it's better than A New Hope. A New Hope is the original
Okay.
Star Wars. I respect it the most out of all the movies. It is amazing. I think Rogue One makes A New Hope even better, though. I do believe that.
Okay,
I
maybe.
agree.
Now here's the thing.
Maybe.
A New Hope
starts
Empire
with the
Strikes
last
Back.
5 minutes of Rogue One, and Rogue One is never spoken about ever again. And that's the perfect way to watch Star Wars.
Vader scene, run New Hope. Done.
Yeah, exactly. You're in.
Right. I see what you're saying. Now, when I was a kid, the original trilogy was old. As in, those effects are old. The movie looks old. It has an old aesthetic.
Yeah.
And that, for me, as much as I love it, because I fucking love the original trilogy, and especially Empire Strikes Back, that's top of my list. But that's just a testament to the story writing and the characters and all that sort of stuff. But to watch it, to sit there and watch A New Hope, which is obviously the first one and the worst effects, the worst lightsaber fights, entertainment value, to sit there and rewatch something I've seen already, that I know the story. Sure, it's amazing. I respect it the most. But I would rather watch fucking new shit that looks better, that's
Yeah, but it's
Darth
a
Vader
shit
fucks
film,
people.
though.
But it's not. I love Rogue One. I stand by it. It's not a shit film. I love Rogue One.
Trash.
I understand your point there, because for me personally, like, my personal favorite Star Wars movie is Force Awakens, because it's new and they've nailed the aesthetic and it's great.
Yeah.
And the story is very, I mean, I'm not trying to say this is a bad point. It's very similar, follows the same beats of A New Hope, right?
Really?
So
You don't say.
you know.
No way. Come on. Pull the other one.
So what I'm trying to say is that you should have said that is better than A New Hope, not Rogue One, that piece of
That's a
crap.
good point. Yeah.
I'm
But I
glad we all
do think
don't
I
like
do
a Rogue
think
One.
I
That
do
makes
think
me
The Force
happy.
Awakens is better than A New Hope. I thoroughly, because to me
I
the
don't.
prequels were awesome as a kid, but what I loved about it was cool lightsaber fights, the Clone Wars stuff, the video games that came along with it. That's what I loved as a kid. And then as you get older and you rewatch me, like, there's a lot of problems here, obviously. But Force Awakens was the first time I felt like I got Star Wars that was mine.
Yeah, I feel you.
Because the original trilogy doesn't feel like my Star Wars. It feels like my dad's Star Wars.
Okay.
That's how I
I
feel
can
about
see
it.
that.
Honestly,
I can see
it
that
doesn't
for
feel
you.
like it doesn't. When I watch it, I don't feel like I'm watching a movie that was made for me. I feel like I'm watching this thing that's really cool that people love and I appreciate and I do enjoy it, but it wasn't made for me. Whereas The Force Awakens was the first Star Wars, I'm like, this was made for me. This is made for me. I fucking love it. It's in a lot of ways a remake of the first Star Wars plus a new generation. I love the characters. I really fucking love the characters. And then The Last Jedi came out, and as much as other than Kylo Ren, who I fucking love and he's my favorite character in this new
So
trilogy,
good.
Yeah.
they wrote him awesome in The Last Jedi, but everything else about it undid the stuff I loved with The Force Awakens, and it made someone like Rey, who was like my favorite Star Wars character after The Force Awakens, like, it made me not like her at all. The writing was really stiff.
It
Her
was
acting was stiff. She obviously didn't enjoy being directed by Rian Johnson, because she fucking, have you heard she cried when she found out JJ was coming back for the third one?
Yeah. Apparently, all the cast were like, really, they were so happy that JJ was coming back.
And then The Rise of Skywalker comes out. And for me, I fucking, first time I saw it, obviously I knew I liked it. And what I knew I liked about it was I loved these new characters. They finally, I got the sequel to Force Awakens.
Yeah, I know what you're saying. So this is my big thing about The Rise of Skywalker, which is I enjoyed it, but I think it's a 6 out of 10. And the reason for that is because JJ had to put 2 movies into one. And and it feels it.
Yeah,
and
you
just
can
tell.
definitely tell, yeah.
And I was saying to Tyler before, like, imagine if this is the biggest franchise of all time, right? Like, arguably, maybe not in terms of revenue. There might be something out there that's done more money, but
And Marvel Cinematic
nothing,
Universe.
nothing has, but nothing has impacted culture the way Star Wars has, right?
Yeah.
This is the most impactful franchise ever, and it got mucked around. Imagine if we'd had 3 JJ movies, or even if Rian Johnson had 8 and 9.
Yeah,
No,
it would have been
I disagree with that
consistency.
statement, but yeah, I see what you're saying.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the thing, because the prequels, like, as much as, I mean, I kind of like the prequels, but as much as they suck, there's at least cohesion between the story. Like, it was one consistent story that George Lucas was trying to tell from 1 through 3.
Right.
Whereas this has I mean, they're all competent movies in their own right. I mean, The Last Jedi is debatable, but there's no cohesion between all 3 episodes, really. It feels like they're jumping around from thing to thing, and they're very contained stories. And I think as much as I think the episode 9 is a pretty satisfying conclusion. It feels more of a conclusion to me to 3 movies, and I mean even more so just sort of 1 movie than it does 9 films. Like I didn't watch it and feel, wow, this feels like a well-rounded end to a saga. To me, it still feels like 6 is the end to the saga, and these 3 movies are a new separate trilogy. Which
but
I can still enjoy, but
I thought it was an amazing end to this trilogy.
Yeah,
like I think the Rise of Skywalker did so well to end this trilogy that JJ started, because what he set up, I felt satisfied with where our characters ended up from where they started. And when I say our characters, I mean the new characters. I mean Kylo Ren, Rey, Finn, Poe. Like we got obviously we're not spoiling anything. Rose, yeah. But we got real development, because people's argument with Rey to me from The Last Jedi, and you know, I got that, and they're like, she doesn't have any sort of challenges or any struggles, and I was worried too, because I thought what we saw in The Force Awakens was like her introduction. I wanted to see more, and we didn't. But in this movie, you got that exactly what I wanted. With Finn, you didn't have a revise of his character development again like they did in Last Jedi. You got something new in that next part of his journey, rounding off his story. Poe, you saw the most we've ever seen. I fucking loved Poe in The Force Awakens, and I love him even more after this one. Like all these characters, I love even more after this movie. Yeah. So that's what that says to me. And did it feel like a great conclusion of this saga? To me, it was the best they could have done with what they had. Agreed. This was the best movie you could have made because of The Last Jedi. Mm-hmm. If JJ had made all 3, what you would have seen was things like Palpatine returning, way more spaced out, probably be an actual big plot reveal and shock in like the end of the second movie, not like at the start he's just sort of there. Well, you know, all these things.
In the title.
We would have known where it was going. We would have seen a hologram here. We would have heard, you know, this random mention of Naboo for no reason. You know, we would have heard about all sorts of stuff that when we go back to watch it the 10th time, you're like, oh,
that's what that meant. Yeah, oh my God, it's so cool.
Exactly. Yeah. But we didn't get that.
That's the reason why, that's the reason why I hate The Last Jedi so much, because not that it's so terrible, there are bad points and whatnot, but I hate because of what it did to the entire saga now and the ending of it.
I completely agree.
I can't forgive it.
I completely agree that it's the biggest crime for The Last Jedi is it turned these incredible characters into 2D static script reading machines. Yeah. Where in The Rise of Skywalker, Rey, Finn, and Poe are Luke, Leia, and Han again. Like where we got a power trio, and there's stuff going on, and there's a real villain, and there's real conflict, and there's real twists and turns that aren't just in there because here should be a twist and there should be a turn, but they're there because the story develops that way. Yeah. And I really wish JJ had all 3 of these movies.
Release the JJ cut. We're going to make it even longer. It's going to be a 6-hour movie, and it's going to be a retcon of the entire Last Jedi.
I'm down. I think we should fund him to do episode 8 again.
I mean, it's going to be a lot of money. I don't know how we're going to do that.
I'm not bothered.
Subscribe to As Always Patreon and see if you're going to... There you go. That's how we're going to fund him.
Through As Always. Yeah. Imagine that Lucasfilms, and it's like As Always Entertainment, then a long time ago. In an alternate universe. Yeah, James, how do you feel overall with The Rise of Skywalker then? Like, where's your head at?
I think I'm pretty similar to you, to be honest. I thought we'd have pretty different opinions. Like, I thought one of us would hate it or one of us would love it, but I'm pretty sure we both think pretty much the same thing. Is that this movie, I think we both really enjoyed it, but it's a shame that it's not as good as it could have been because of The Last Jedi. And it is a shame, because watching it, like, as much as I went to see it a second time, and I enjoyed it even more the second time. As I was watching it, I was enjoying every second of it. But there are moments where I'm like, this certain thing could have been better, or this certain thing could have been better, or this could have been given more time if JJ had done all 3 of the movies. And it is a shame watching that, but I think because I enjoyed it so much watching it, over time, say in like 10 years, I think I'll look back on it a lot more fondly and be like, yeah, that was actually a really good conclusion, because you kind of come to terms with what it is. I think you'll think less of, oh, this could have been done better, or this could have been done better, and you'll sort of just enjoy it for what it is, because it is a good film. But I think coming straight out of it, it is a little bit disappointing in a sense, because know it could easily have been so much more if JJ had just done all 3. But overall, I think it was a good conclusion, and it's a good film that I really enjoy. So I think that's a good thing.
Cool. I'm more excited to get really into details because I literally just feel like we're talking about this. So I'm like, I can talk to you guys about the spoilers, but
I'm trying to control myself. I'm scared.
I'm staying away from it.
Because I really want to talk about certain things. Yeah.
I never talk about spoilers, isn't that right?
Oh god damn it!
Oh,
Eddie
my
actually
God.
literally posted a spoiler, and I was like, and Billy
Oh my
saw it, and
God,
he's just
yeah,
like, he
I
was
saw.
fuming.
The worst part about this is that I'm usually really good at this stuff and it slipped out and I deleted it very quickly. And what's really bad, and it's not like I'm blaming you for this, but it's definitely your fault, Tyler.
Your fault.
He wouldn't have seen it had you not replied to it because he's not like a follower of mine. So he saw your reply and it's like, oh shit, God, that's perfect. And it wasn't the hugest spoiler, I think, but it's not my right to say.
Why don't you say it out loud now?
I'll say it now. So what I said was,
I don't even know what it was. All I saw was everyone tweeting you saying "spoiler, Eddie," but I never saw the actual tweet.
The thing is, have you guys ever had that thing where like you think about something you did like 4 years ago and it cripples you with cringe and stuff like that? I get that a lot, and I have not been able to stop thinking about what I've done now. I'm
really?
like, God, I'm such a cunt. Why did I do that?
Oh
Anyway.
god, what was it? Can you message the spoiler in the Skype chat or something?
I can. It's minor, I think, but anyway, we'll see.
Enjoy
I'll
the
type it
sultry
now.
sounds of the mechanical keyboard.
This is,
Here we go. Oh, fuck's sake.
Oh yeah, that's a pretty major.
It's barely mentioned in the movie, so I'm like,
This is
fuck
the
it.
thing. I wanted to say this about this movie, which is the reason I gave it a 6 out of 10, and James touched on this, was there are some really amazing ideas in it. And because it's 2 movies in one, all the ideas get fleshed out about a 6 out of 10.
Yeah.
They never really go anywhere with a lot of this stuff. And again, you know, obviously we can't change the past, but if he had had a second movie to lay all this stuff up, God, this movie would have been such a banger.
Yeah.
And the real thing that makes this last movie suffer is because it is the 9th movie. It's the 3rd of the trilogies, and it didn't get the send off that we needed for.
And they pitched it as the big send off. They're
Yeah.
like, this is the conclusion of
Well,
the
you have to
Star
pitch
Wars
it as a
saga.
send-off.
This is it. And we felt a bit underwhelmed.
Yeah, it came away a 6 out of 10. But I really enjoy it. You know, I liked it a lot, but I don't know, it could have, I don't know.
It should have been better. It's not that it could have been better. It couldn't have been any better than that.
Yes.
It should have been
not
better.
with what we had. No, it couldn't have been.
Yeah.
But
it should have been better, but it couldn't have been better.
Yeah.
That's I think the key to it. Anyway, we can't get any more into it really at this point, without getting into spoiler territory.
Yeah.
Sure.
So tune in for Cinema Room on Patreon tomorrow.
I just like that Phasma saved the day.
Yeah, I'm glad we got Phasma back. He's great. She's great. Yeah.
He's great. First trans character in Star Wars.
Phasma.
That's all that really matters. That's all that really matters about Star Wars was there trans
you're right.
representation?
That's it. That next topic. Let's talk about the gender representation in The Rise of Skywalker.
The real topic in this order.
That's what we all
need to talk
needed.
about.
What is the gender of the lightsabers and how do they identify?
That's a very important question. I'm glad you asked.
Oh my god, that's great.
I forgot all about Phasma.
I thought about her today. I thought about Phasma. I'm like, oh yeah, I forgot she was a character that doesn't matter.
I was gonna say we didn't get any more Watto, which is that's the real
tragic loss that we got.
And we
Oh,
spent
you
time
spoiled
unpacking
it, bro. People were expecting Watto.
People were
it.
expecting.
You've ruined it.
I feel like now's the time that we can get into the first award for 2019.
Okay.
Yeah.
So how are we doing this? Are we doing all of ours? Are we going through every single one of ours and then going through the poll? Or are we doing it
we're going to go
bit by
category
bit?
to category.
Do you have the results so I can look at it at the
have
same time as you? Or are you just going to read it out?
I'm going to read it out because you told me you wanted to be surprised.
Yeah, true. I like seeing the graphs though. It's all right. You can do it.
And we will
Now,
critique all of them until how everyone's wrong.
Yeah, we'll let you know.
Now, one of them's a tie.
Ooh,
Fighter.
interesting.
Yeah.
Okay.
I picked the winner out of that. I gave the deciding vote, and I think
That sounds
democratical.
Yeah,
that does
that's-
sound democratical, rather.
ultimately this is a dictatorship and Tyler's the dick.
I picked because I was like, it's literally a tie. I'm like, I'm not having a fucking tie. What would I vote for out of the two that were there? And it wasn't even what I voted for as well. Like in terms of in terms of that category, but had to. It's also not the most important category. If it was a big important category, I probably would.
You're really building this up. This had better be a.
It's gonna be maybe the best character.
Stop with the cocktease, you know. Spit on it. Let's get going.
Okay, the first award we're gonna go through today is the meme of the year.
Ooh, here we go. All right.
So let's go through the nominees for meme of the year, and of course these are pretty. James and I picked the nominees for everything, so it's all very 4-pillar community focused, as always focused.
Do you have do you have the nominee images anywhere so I could whack them up just so people can see shit, or is that not a thing?
Well, I'm also mid making winner images. Yeah, hang on, I'll put them all on Google Drive in the audio.
I'm confused as to why this wasn't a thing that I even thought about until just now.
You didn't mention it, so I was like, I guess I'll bother doing that.
Yeah, I should have thought about it. Like, there should be something on screen, not just us talking about it.
That's right. I'll put it all up. Give you a second. I'm glad you thought of this now, not like as we're doing it. But then how are you gonna put? If I give you the winner ones, then.
Oh yeah, you're right.
Give you the nominees.
I could just not look at them or something. I don't know.
No. I'm gonna put it up and then. Just put the fucking nominee list up.
Just do nominees and then people can hear us. I'll be like, these are all the nominees and this is the winner one, without us needing to like show it necessarily.
Yeah, I think they'll know. They'll know from it, right?
Yeah, I think so.
They'll be able to figure it out, I'm sure.
Let's do this.
Was it 8? No, I've got 8 images I just sent. Am I missing one?
I have no clue. I don't remember. You tweeted them all, right?
Yeah.
So.
Oh no, the one's missing. Okay, it's all there. Okay, there was the most anticipated 2020.
You guys are really making us feel better about how professional we are.
It's Kill Con Club. It'll be more professional next year.
Yeah, we'll probably
that's
just give
always way better. It will suddenly change.
Yeah,
all of a sudden.
All of a sudden.
Where did you put them?
You got it, James. It's all in the audio.
Okay, that's not where I would have thought they would be, but that's okay.
Hey, I'm just chucking it there, alright?
Okay.
Let's put these pictures in the audio folder.
It's just the first thing was open. It was open on a tab. It was just there ready to go. I always have that tab
open. Your moment, James. Let him go.
Alright, it's zipping the files up. Give me a second here.
All it would do if James let me go, there would just be the show being cancelled.
Yeah, I wouldn't do it anymore. I would never do it. I'd be like, I'm just too tired. I'm going to go back to sleep and not do
it. Yeah, James only does the show because I force him to do the show. That's literally the only reason you guys have this, by the way. So anyone that likes this show...
Tyler's the one that organises everything and tells me this is the time that we're doing it and this is what we're doing it about.
He's too busy playing Odyssey. He just doesn't want to do anything.
Oh, that was it. That's upsetting. You've really upset me because I forgot that game existed and now I remember.
Very happy you got us on here now.
All right, here we go. Oh no, hang on. I'm gonna. Oh, what's happened here then? Okay, is OBS still live? Oh, I think it is. I'm sorry, everybody. Skype crashed. Just give me a minute. I'm back.
And you're just desperately trying to like fill the desk.
Filled with ums as well.
Like,
oh god, Skype crashed. I apologize.
In here, I'll open it now. Oh, there's the animation for opening. Oh, and it's a great pistol. Never mind.
We'll find a good one next time.
No, I love it. It wouldn't be Kill Con Club if it was professional.
There you go.
And that's.
Oh my, what the fuck is going on? Every time I try to drag these files, Skype crashes. What the fuck? This makes no sense at all. Hang on, I'm gonna get... Ah! Shit, wait, no. What have I done? Well, everyone already knows the nominee, so that's okay. Okay, let me load Skype back up. I apologize, everybody. For some reason, every time I tried to drag the file, Skype crashed. This is great. This is really great.
I'm good at not getting things right.
Okay.
Yeah.
I don't know what happened there. Every time I tried to drag the files into the folder, it crashed Skype. I don't know why. There's no reason to it. That makes absolutely no sense. But I figured it out. We're good. I've got all the nominee images there, and we're ready to roll.
Ladies and gentlemen, okay. The first category, Meme of the Year. The nominees are We Are All in Hawkins. The meme that came from Cinema Room episode 13 for Stranger Things 3. We have Martin Scorsese, Real Cinema. Horsey and Fox Timpani meme in the Kingdom Hearts 3 streams. And Captain Bob Stelio from his adventures on the Kilconnor Clubhouse podcast on patreon.com/as always. So, James, I'll have to ask you, of all those categories, what's your meme of the year for you personally?
Oh, I reckon. See, we laughed very much, far too often actually, at the Hawkins meme. So
honestly, I've never laughed harder in my life.
It's so fucking stupid and it's hilarious and it never fails to make me laugh. Martin Scorsese was also a great one as well. It'll be between those. If either of those win, I think I'm pretty happy, but I'll probably have to go with the Hawkins one just because of how much we fucking laughed at it.
Yeah. Sheps. I'm not sure how many of these memes you've followed, but what's your
Real Cinema, man? That was my meme.
Cinema.
Yeah, it's been a great meme. It's been a great end of year meme, the Martin Scorsese one. Like it's really done well at the end. What about you, Eddie?
I am okay with any of them as long as it isn't the Horsey and Fox one because it has George in it and he's just a top cunt, isn't he? So any other one other than that. But if I had to pick,
do you know what's funny? A top cunt in Australia is like a good thing. You're calling him like a mad cunt.
Yeah,
like
you're a top cunt. Yeah.
It's a good thing.
Fuck, I just complimented him. God, shit.
But he's not Australian. He'll know.
Oh, yeah. No, if I had to pick, I'd say I like the Captain Bob Stelio readouts that you guys do on all the shows and what. They really make me laugh. So I go for them.
Yeah. Okay. The Martin Scorsese Real Cinema meme has been great and everything, but to me it's between We Are All in Hawkins or the Captain Bob Stelio. Because Captain Bob Stelio has a characters close to my heart, near and dear, and those were some amazing podcasts we did for that over the summer. But I think I've never laughed harder in a podcast than Stranger Things 3.
Oh my
cinema.
God. I can't even believe that is a real thing we made.
Literally 20 minutes non-stop howling. We didn't do anything for 20 minutes. We just laughed for 20 minutes. It was so dumb. And the fact that it's lived on, and like I post on Instagram and I always tag the location in Hawkins, Maine, like in the town. Like it is such a good fucking meme. That is definitely my meme of the year. Definitely my meme of the year.
Timpani's a great one though. Just an honorable mention there to Timpani. Just a classic 100%. Horsey and Fox meme that makes no sense.
100%.
It's not even 100%. How you say the word, but Timpani, great stuff. So what won? What won the vote?
Okay, the winner for the As Always Awards 2019 Meme of the Year is Martin Scorsese Real Cinema.
Yes! It's a good one. It deserves it. It deserves it.
Yeah, people love it. It's a very mainstream meme. It was close. Captain Bob Stelio was a close second to that.
Oh, really? Hawkins, what was Hawkins, third?
Yeah. Third.
Okay.
Yeah.
Wow.
But Timpani got a few votes in there too. But yeah, it's I was surprised that Clubhouse Patreon meme was so popular. It was winning for quite a while of it, but as the more mainstream audience starts voting, that's what you get. You get Martin Scorsese Real Cinema, but great meme that looks to live on and continue. And to be fair, also Martin Scorsese in 1999 did say that he was going to win this award.
Yeah,
so
that's a good point.
Just saying that he did predict that.
Yeah, he did. Yeah, I saw that. So,
yeah, I saw someone brought that up actually on Twitter when we announced the nominees. So that's pretty exciting. I put the winner clip as well as I'm doing this, James. I'm putting like the winning clips thing so you can put that up.
I feel like there's going to be not enough time in between.
So smooth.
So smooth transitions.
But I can do my very best to
You don't have to do it then, man. Hey, don't even walk.
No, don't worry about it. I got it.
Tyler, he's on a PC. This isn't going to work out. He's a PC peasant. It's not like our Mac Master race over here.
And on that note, I'm just going to take this opportunity. I've looked at the number of people watching the stream right now and the number of likes. Could you imagine being one of the idiots that forgot to like the stream? How embarrassing! How embarrassing for you!
Don't be that guy.
Could you imagine that? Oh, so embarrassing.
You know what? You've rehired as my advertising guy.
You got the job back.
Yeah, you're rehard. That was good. That was very good. Usually it's me that has to do that, but I've got Sheps for that. It's fantastic. I love it.
I like the image that you used here for the Martin Scorsese meme. That's one of the best ones, I think. That really made me laugh to write that out. It's so fucking stupid.
Can you read that out, James, to the audio listeners?
So in 1997, Martin Scorsese said the famous quote, "Look."
Fuck, it is a good meme. It is a good fucking meme.
He said, "Look, I'm very proud of The Irishman, but I've been unable to stop talking about Ant-Man and the Wasp. I mean, my God, what a picture. So good. So good. I had to get Bobby... I can't even pronounce this actor's fucking second name. But Bobby kind of... I don't know how you say his fucking name. In my movie, I'm such a fan of how he shrinks and causes mayhem. Not Bobby, laughs. I mean Paul Rudd. Maybe he's one for my next picture, winks. If only my talents went so far."
Best meme of the year.
Yeah.
That's a
a
solid
good winner.
meme.
Yeah, it's a good winner. They were all good memes, though. Like, to be fair, they're nominated. They're all good. They're all good
true.
memes.
True.
Good year for memes. Really, yeah, but fuck. Had some good laughs at them. The next category we're going to get up, James, just so you know, fucking
I'm ready.
prepared
I'm
for
all
this.
ready.
Yeah, is the show of the year.
Got
Show
it.
of the year. So the nominees, ladies and gentlemen, for show of the year are Stranger Things, The Mandalorian, Mindhunter, You, and Game of Thrones. I chucked that in there because I wanted to see Secret Season 8 lovers, and there's a lot more than you'd expect.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah.
Let's name and shame those guys.
Yeah, let's name shame them at the end. Yeah. Pull up their names, please, and read them out. Go on.
So, James, of all those nominees, what's your show of the year? What's your favorite show of 2019?
Okay, out of those shows, I think it's got to be Mindhunter. I don't think it's even a question, to be honest.
Yeah.
I think they're
the
great.
first year
They're all great
Mindhunter
shows.
Did you watch season 1 earlier, or were you caught up with this season?
Me?
I forget. I forget. No, we've talked. Yeah,
we watched it when
to
it first came out, because it was not last year. It was 2017, wasn't it? Awards.
Yeah.
Mindhunter was one of our like top 5 or whatever.
Yeah,
I don't think there's really a question, because it would have been Game of Thrones, but we know what happened with that. You is a great show. Mandalorian's a really great show, and Stranger Things is a great show. But I just don't think we've ruined it. We've ruined it for ourselves. But I think Mindhunter just has the edge. It's just it's so well paced and well structured. It's so interesting. It's so different, unique. It's just such a fucking great show. I think it stands out above all the others. So I gotta go with Mindhunter. I don't think it's gonna win though.
You don't think it's gonna win?
I don't think so. No.
Well, Eddie, what's your show of the year out of those nominees?
I want to say Game of Thrones. It's just...
Excuse me?
I mean, the problem is it did end so fucking terribly. And it's the same thing that I said about The Last Jedi, like ruining the end of the Star Wars saga for me. And it's the same thing there. But I enjoyed so much of it before.
I know.
Just to be like, oh crap, I stumbled over the last step. Should I really...
But it was... The whole season was garbage.
Yeah.
It was trash.
Are we talking about the whole show though, or are we just talking about season 8?
Just season 8.
Season 8, right? Because it's the
Just
only season that came out this year. So
Yeah.
So
In
that
that
would be
case,
what
then-
we're voting for, yeah.
I did like You as well. You was very, very cool. That was... Yeah. I'm going to go for... Stranger Things I'm going to go for. I'm going to go for Stranger Things.
Wow.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah, I liked the whole you like the movie Alien.
Yes.
The thing that I really love about that is that it's completely wacky, and to think of an alien like that and the whole universe and stuff like that, it shows true creativity.
I mean,
and this
wacky
kind of
is
thing,
the word that I would use to describe the original Alien movie.
Yes, exactly.
Wacky.
That is the right word.
Right.
and this has elements of that, like the whole Demogorgon and stuff like that, the upside down world and how it connects. It's quite inventive, and I really love that about any kind of media, any kind of that. So I'm gonna go for Stranger Things.
Okay.
I want to give it to The Mandalorian.
Yeah.
I want to give it to The Mandalorian because I do love. I've really enjoyed it, but it's had lulls that I think Stranger Things didn't have. I think the pacing was better. There was even like the little love story and stuff in Stranger Things was something extra and interesting to watch. I think I gotta give it to Stranger Things. I haven't seen Mindhunter. You's okay.
You need to see Mindhunter. You need to see it.
Everyone that's seen it has said it's a must watch. You was okay, didn't do it for me. And Game of Thrones, I had very strong opinions.
Lando. Sorry, we're just reading one comment in the chat. Lando did. When we was playing Star Wars Battlefront, Sheps mistakenly said Lando instead of Lando.
In fairness to me,
and we didn't let it drop. We was like, no, this is not going away. This is a thing forever.
In fairness to me, I haven't slept since October. And then that same stream, about 20 minutes later, I go, "Oh no, it's Grievous!" I said Grievous. So I just couldn't say any words like that whole day.
And everyone just in the chat, they're just like, "Lando, dear, Lando, would you bring me a sherry, please? Thank
Sherry Lando."
Anyway, that was the joke we just saw there.
So Stranger Things is gonna get my vote.
Okay, there you go.
Fuck.
All right. I'm with James on this one. 100%. I don't think it's even close. Mindhunter's definitely my show of the year. Season 2 managed to be even better than the first season, which I loved. It stepped it up massively. It's not really even close when I think about it. Great show. Mandalorian, great show. There's a few lulls in there, but it's been really awesome for a new perspective in the Star Wars universe and just a different type of show altogether. It's been really refreshing. And Stranger Things 3, is great. Other than James, I have literally ruined the show for ourselves.
I cannot watch it without laughing. I still can't get over the fact we did that whole cinema room spoiler cast and we didn't even talk about the whole emotional ending because we were too busy laughing at how stupid it is. But it's not. But we made it that way. It's fucking ridiculous.
Made it so dumb. Yeah, it's still my least favorite season of
I agree.
Stranger Things.
Yeah, I agree.
2's the worst by far.
No.
It's my favorite one.
Yeah,
I love
those
2.
Other kids that have silly powers and she runs.
Okay, that was a stupid episode.
That's what everyone says. I'm sorry, there's one bad episode in the show, but everything else is like fucking perfection.
It just took me out of it, man. That's a personal thing. There are other things though, like forgetting Stranger Things. I'm surprised The Boys isn't on here.
Yeah, that's a good point, actually. That's a bone we have to pick with you, The Boys.
True, but we've never seen it, so that'd be mad to put on the list.
So because you guys have terrible taste in Star Wars movies and TV shows, I'm bringing that back because they're awful lists they had before.
Agreed.
Because of that, you're saying that it's not on the list. I'm just saying, everyone, transfer your Patreon pledges to ours, which we don't have.
Patreon.com/Conbrosations and then buy our merch. But to show you displeasure, those blue thumbs up, they didn't put the boys on. There's a thumbs down right next to it. 2 guys already had clicked it mistakenly. Imagine being those 2 idiots.
Idiots, right?
They hit the wrong thumb button. But now you can dislike it. I'm gonna dislike it on my phone. Hold on.
Wait. Who won this category? Then go on, give it to us.
All right. So the official winner of the As Always Awards 2019 for Show of the Year. The Mandalorian.
Way, all right.
Oh.
I'll accept.
Yeah.
The Mandalorian.
I
was proud of Mindhunter got second, and it's not a mainstream show, so it managed to beat out other mainstream shows. But there's some serious Game of Thrones lovers here. I'm just saying. It didn't come last. I'll say that. It didn't come last.
Saying. That's ridiculous. Fucking. I bet it's Jack on all of his alts. Just voting for Game of Thrones.
Fucking Jack.
He just can't handle that it's shit. But it is. But it is shit.
Does he actually think it's good?
Yes. Yeah, he does, yeah.
What, season 8?
Yeah.
It's a bit though, right?
He'll defend it to his dying breath, I'm telling you.
Right, but it's a bit.
No. Jack's just not... He doesn't have a brain, I don't think. But, you know.
He also likes The Last Jedi, which is just...
We'll let it slide.
I've been bullied already, but...
You're very easy to bully.
I really enjoyed The Last Jedi.
Fucking hell.
Oh, let's stop it. You've gone and ruined it.
It's not good, but I enjoy it a lot. And it's in my top 5.
But, I'm trying to understand what you enjoyed about the, Poe Finn storylines. Because that's 50% of the movie, and 50% of the movie sucks. Literally sucks. I like Luke in it. I like Kylo in it.
Yeah.
Rey's involvement with Kylo I like a lot, though her solo stuff they wrecked.
Yeah.
So I'm like, yeah, sure, 50% of the movie I can watch and enjoy it.
Yeah.
There's some cool action scenes. But then the other half of the movie is literally shit movie. Purely shit movie. Not shit Star Wars, shit movie.
Yeah, I'll say this, right? A couple of things. One, yeah, the Rey Kylo stuff's amazing. When I think of the movie, Rose is deleted from my memory.
Yeah.
She isn't in it. Finn goes to Canto Bight, gets arrested, finds a guy who betrays him on Snoke's ship. That's how that goes, right? There is no Rose.
Strange, she's just not there.
Right, it's weird, right? It's way better that way as well.
Who's he talking to? Yeah.
And he's talking to himself.
He's got an imaginary friend.
He's
Is
just
it
on, he's on Discord.
Taika Waititi as Hitler? Like in Jojo Rabbit?
And my
It's a way better movie, by the way, but just saying.
Yes, I agreed. The thing about Star Wars is it's space wizards with laser swords, right?
Yeah.
And the thing that makes Star Wars is space wizards with laser swords, and how good your space wizard laser sword combat is determines how high up on it.
And because it had the best
The
combat
throne room scene is the best fight we've ever seen, in my opinion. It's the best. It's the best, and then I think it's that. Then Luke versus Vader in Empire, and then actually maybe the Rey Kylo duel from this was very good as well.
Yeah.
I prefer the Rey Kylo duel in Force Awakens. I loved that in the snow at night, like the weather lighting in this film. That's my second favorite.
It's fantastic.
But you're telling me your favorite lightsaber battle isn't Obi-Wan versus Anakin in Revenge of the Sith?
Yeah, I was just gonna say, yeah. Battle of
Worse.
Heroes.
That goes. Sorry, I thought it was like without saying that is number one and everything. We were just talking
And
about what
actually,
goes below that.
do you know what? Actually, you guys are gonna hate this. Episode 1. Qui-Gon Obi-Wan versus Darth Maul is one of the greatest lightsaber fights of all time.
Yeah.
And
Okay, it's good.
Agree,
Good
yeah.
lightsaber. See, it's the only good scene in the movie.
No, can we stop talking about Star Wars? I'm gonna cry. I can't deal with it.
Racing, excuse me.
Watto, are you kidding?
In it, we just happen to have a chance, Gilbert.
Nubian, yes, I have lots of that.
The one move where Obi-Wan deflects the lightsaber behind him and in front of him in that split second. I come every time.
Master Destroyers. There's so much good in episode. Anyway,
that's why these guys put it at the bottom, and I fucking hate them for that.
Lightsaber fights make the movie ultimately for me, and so The Last Jedi is up there. Even though so much was trash, even though Rose, which by the way, I liked her getting cucked so hard in this The Rise of Skywalker. Which anyway,
let's go back to Star Wars.
Can we please stop talking about
Anakin
Star
versus
Wars?
Obi-Wan,
I can't.
Revenge of the Sith, best lightsaber fight of all time. 100%.
Yeah, can we just do, as always, Awards 2019, Best Lightsaber Fight Awards?
Let's do that. We're starting a new one, guys.
Oh god. All right. Anyway, we'll move on to the next category.
What's up next?
Which is which might make these two a little upset because they're not involved in it. The podcast of the year, James. The podcast of the year.
I've got it here. Yep.
The nominees for the podcast of the year, and it's obviously only involving the As Always podcast, Cinema Room, Clubhouse, Kill Connor Club. The 4 nominees for podcast of the year: Kill Connor Club 100, The 4 Pillars, and us looking back on the history of the Kill Connor Club, reminiscing about all the episode highlights. We have Cinema Room, episode 15, Stranger Things 3, where the Hawkins meme was invented, and I've never laughed so hard in my entire life. We have Kill Connor Club, episode 106, The 4 Pillars in Person video podcast. And the Clubhouse podcast, episode 64, The Adventures of Captain Bob Stelio.
Was we close to being nominated?
For sure. Probably would have been.
Then it's okay. We feel better now.
Yeah.
We feel better now. Yeah.
But when you think about this, like, I wasn't going to put 3 Kill Connor clubs in there. I wanted a Cinema Room. I wanted a Clubhouse. That had to be in there. I picked my favorite Cinema Room. I picked my favorite Clubhouse. And you've got the 100th episode of Kill Connor Club has to be there. And the 4 Pillars.
My vote, for the record.
What's that?
I went for
the
Kill
100
Connor Club 100. Yeah.
Is that your okay? So why is that your favorite one?
Because I like the number 100 and none of you guys. No, to be honest, to be honest, the only reason I picked that over the in-person one was because I was also there in person, so I spoke to all of you, and so it wasn't as special. But the 100, everybody reminiscing, I thought that was, I don't know, I like that.
That's a good point. Yeah, sure.
True. Eddie?
I like the in-person one because it was the beginning part of you guys all being so awkward was so funny to me. I was like, yes, this is gonna be funny. The thing. And it was funny. George as well, just sort of, it's like he wasn't even in the conversation. He was off to the side because he's too cool
on the chair.
He's leaning off to the side.
He's too cool.
I was like, he's too cool for them. That's what's going on right there. But then it just broke down into the usual Kill Connor Club madness, and just you guys were all so funny. I think that was my favorite one, the in-person one.
It was good.
Yeah, it was great.
Yeah.
How about you, James? What's your favorite?
Yeah, I reckon KCC 106. It's such a special thing, and seeing everyone react to it and be like, "Wow, this is such a crazy episode." Seeing everybody in person in the same room doing an episode of the podcast, I think it was great. Also, I love the way that George's hair starts off dry, and by the end, he's drenched in sweat.
Yeah.
It's my favorite thing.
It was
I
the
love
hottest room of all time. Do you have aircon in your house now, James?
No, it's
England.
England.
No
It's
one
England.
has aircon.
No.
Nobody has aircon because it's cold
That's-
for 95% of the year.
That's true. See, it's hot 95% of the year.
Yeah, exactly.
Here, so like I have aircon in my room, in my living room, in my kitchen.
know.
Every room in the house has
Weird
aircon.
flex, but okay.
Best me in 2019. Oh fuck.
He does have
my-
some, but also forest fires. So
Yeah, you know.
win some, you lose some.
Oh, yep. Too soon, but yep. I'm trying to think. This is a hard one for me because like 106 Four Pillars in Person, yeah, 100%, the most special podcast we've probably ever done. But then I think back to Stranger Things 3, like that was one of my favorite podcasts I've ever done, just from how much I laughed.
Mm-hmm.
But then Captain Bob Steelio, like as a full episode, start to finish, it's just like we had classic Clubhouse in that. The Adventures of Bob Steelio in it, the advice threads. Like Clubhouse is my favorite fucking thing of all time. Clubhouse is the best podcast. I stand by that. It's my favorite child. I'm supposed to have a favorite child, but of my 3 children, Clubhouse is my favorite.
Yeah, well, it's my favorite too.
I'm gonna go with Clubhouse 64, Bob Steelio.
Ooh.
That's I think my favorite podcast of the year. That's my favorite podcast of the year.
Okay.
Now the winner for Podcast of the Year 2019, the As Always Awards, ladies and gentlemen, I better put that in, is
Please.
it's Kill Connor Club, episode 106, The Four Pillars in Person.
Ah,
Hey, here we
stuff.
go.
I'd reveal it
Yeah.
on screen, but I don't have the image yet.
You have the image, yes, there it is.
Ah, got it.
Oh, God damn it! I swear to God.
Like-
Oh, I'm so glad how prepared we were for this. It's really good.
Do you want me to put all the fucking images in there now? Is that what you want?
Yeah.
Okay.
I just won't look until like
Okay.
I'll
You know
I'll make it as a list and I'll drag it in.
Okay.
The thing about 106 is
Right.
having everybody in person is special for sure. And the meetup before it was before, right?
Yeah, before.
That was so fucking cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, like really, it was.
As
awesome.
fans, it was damn fun.
Yeah.
Damn fun.
Yeah, we got to meet characters like Ethan. We got to meet Tyler. We got to meet George.
Yeah.
We got to meet the important people.
Yeah, the important people.
Right.
Right. Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. You haven't missed anyone on that list.
special.
You-
About,
you
no,
know
exactly.
everyone.
No.
We only mention the important people because they're important, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was it genuinely was special, and
And I got my AC3 signed as well. So
you
that was
did.
a-
You
it
have
was
the
a solid-
only signed copy of AC3
by
by
the
all
four
the
pillars.
pillars.
Yeah, that's something right there. It's gonna be like a couple of pennies on eBay soon.
God.
You're 100% right. That was one of the most special. Honestly, when I look back on this year, there's been fucking ups and downs and shit, but that was one of the most special times of my life. That whole couple of weeks, it was validation of everything I've ever done personally on YouTube, and doing podcasts and shit, to be with James in person and be able to make content, to be with the Four Pillars in person, make content, to have the meetup, and we've got. This is the first time I really ever spoke to you two, and met you
we're
guys,
sorry about
and
that.
yeah, that's okay. No, but honestly, now you two are like some of our closest friends in the community. It's so fucking cool to have, the way you guys have joined us, and have you on. I fucking love having you guys on the podcast. It's always so much fun, such a laugh. So it's such a special time. Yeah, it's just crazy.
That's
Crazy,
crazy, you guys, because you guys have been so like accepting and open in arms and whatnot. All of the community as well. You guys have such a cool bunch of people here. We were just like, hey, we know James and whatnot, and you're having this really cool event. Let's join you guys and have some fun together. And
Best
you guys
career
just,
movie
like-
you've ever made, by the way. Just pointed that out, just to show
Yeah.
up to that.
And we just, it was
cool.
amazing. I love it.
Also, the meetup's the reason we actually jumped on Discord, because everyone was mentioning it. Came up a lot, and
Everyone, yeah.
we were like, well, maybe we should get on that just to like be involved with you guys. And then we were like, well, this is fun. Maybe we should make our own one.
And that's become. Can you think of a day? And the other day,
I'm on Discord all the time.
Remember when Discord went down the other day?
I didn't know what to do with
What do we
myself.
do with life?
Yeah, it's so strange. In like a few months,
Not being able to talk to these guys is just stupid.
suddenly
now.
Discord is like my number one thing. My phone every week will tell me, like
Screen time
My
use,
screen
yeah.
time. It used to be like an hour or something on average. Now it's like 3 to 4 hours because I'm on Discord the whole time.
And all thanks to you guys and thanks to the community, innit?
Yeah.
Good lads. Good lads. One thing I was going to say, James, and Tyler, you can answer this. In this picture, were all you guys standing except for James?
Yeah, James just sat down.
Something's
Fuck
really weird.
you.
James just sat down. You can tell that James just sat down because he's a perfectly reasonable height.
Exactly.
He's a normal
that's it.
height.
Yeah,
Yeah,
normal height.
exactly,
Like yourself.
that's
it. Myself.
James
There
gets
we
it.
go.
Right. Yeah.
Got him.
Yes, they were all standing on boxes because nobody is that tall. So
Yeah.
it's just not
it's true.
possible.
He got out the yellow pages for them three so they would,
There you go.
It's intimidating being around a
You know
guy
what
like
the best
James.
part about it is? In the photo of the four of us, Ethan looks the most normal. So that's interesting.
Yeah, that's funny.
Ethan's having a just genuine, I'm taking a picture, a little smile.
That's
James is
actually
looking off
so weird.
almost lovingly at Tyler, like he's got a man crush.
Yeah.
And then Tyler's this weird shock face, and George blocking the view of everyone else with his thumbs.
That
It's
is
like,
such a strange image, actually. I've never looked at it properly until just now. That is a fucking weird image.
I do love the image though. It was, and that whole meetup and that podcast, Four Pills in Person, was years in the making, and to have the four of us in one room for the first time, because we've told this before, but we'll tell it again. We're reminiscing. I'd met, obviously, I was staying at James and George's house, so obviously I'd met George and James, but the three of us had been in the same room together. But it didn't feel like it obviously was special, but it didn't feel like a big deal. It was just, oh yeah, George and James and me hanging out, buddies. And then George was fucking sleeping or doing whatever he does. And we picked up Ethan from the train station and hung out with him and Ben and stuff. And, James, Ethan and I are all together. And but the four of us hadn't been together yet until the morning of the meetup. And when I looked up, I think I was like, tie my shoes. I look up, Ethan's on the couch. George walks into the room. James sitting on the couch. And we all kind of looked around and realized this is the first time ever that the four pillars had been in the same room. And it felt special. Like, there was this moment we all looked around like, holy fuck, this is crazy right now. This is so crazy that the four pillars are literally in the same room together.
Yeah.
We're about to go to a meetup and meet all these people we've spent years, chatting to on Discord and podcasts and all this sort of stuff. It was one of the most special times of my life.
You got to meet us as well.
Yeah, that must that end on a high note right there. That was-
Yeah, exactly. Started low, ran high. Perfect.
There you go.
Perfect. Yeah. Yeah, that whole weekend. It was,
It was
amazing.
Yeah.
And then I'm getting I wake up this morning so hungover, and I've got Toby who goes, oh, Tyler, tell me you're home. I'm going to FaceTime you. And then I'm FaceTime with all these guys as they're having drinks at James's new house. Like, what the fuck?
Toby
bunny
spent
face.
half the time in my kitchen FaceTiming you while we're all listening to Kingdom Hearts music in my living room.
Yeah,
It was great.
that was pretty much the whole conversation. Like, and then he's just awkwardly trying to show me around to everyone and just shoving me in their faces. Say hi to Tyler. Say hi to Tyler.
Oh, man.
We were in the middle of playing poker, and Ed grabs me and goes, "We need to go upstairs and record a video."
Yeah, and we
I was
recorded
like, "Okay," put my cards
our
down.
stupid video.
Yeah, he's like, "Look, read this text from James." And I was like, "Oh shit, okay."
He's trying to be gangster, but we're North Londoners, so let's sort this out.
Oh, yeah, that was good.
But it's crazy to look back at that whole thing. And now Toby was trying to convince me to move to England as well last night.
He did. He told me.
Yeah.
I mean, you don't need to pay for the air conditioning here.
Yeah,
Right?
it's free.
Save money on bills.
Yeah,
Just
yeah.
makes sense.
I can have my first Christmas. That'll be pretty
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah, an actual Christmas. Yeah,
You'll have a Christmas like they show in the movies, wet and raining.
yeah.
Yeah.
And everybody complaining about things. That's how they show it, right?
Yeah.
We'll teach you how to
Yeah.
pew properly.
Yeah,
Oh,
you
yeah.
need to learn that. It's valuable.
A proper cup of tea.
Yes.
And then you can fuck off back where you came from. Wait,
We don't,
fuck off.
yeah.
This is the thing. Like, my plan for years has been I want to live overseas for a while. and I was thinking, I went overseas and went to LA. Well, this honestly was a trip to kind of decide in some ways where I'd want to go next, because my three options was always LA, New York, or like the UK. And I went to all those places this year, and New York was the best place I've ever been to, best city ever. I fucking loved it. But when I think about practicality of living somewhere, I live in the Commonwealth. It's so easy to move to the UK. It is so hard to move to the US.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So just practicality, I'm like, the UK. Plus, I actually have so many friends in the UK. It's ridiculous. I feel like I have more friends in the UK than I do in Australia.
It'd be a
So-
smart business move, Tyler.
And it would also be a very smart business move.
It would be that.
Be a very smart business move. Think about the amount of content we could do and like the quality.
So
It would be, it'd be a smart business move.
Quality's still gonna be, what it is.
Questionable, yeah.
Question at best.
It'd be
question.
better. It'd be better though. It'd be closer to good. So
Wait,
But
these guys
just think of
need to
like things that we do that are like awesome people love is like when I got home, my parents wanted to see the videos that we'd made. And I'm like, you guys aren't interested. You guys aren't interested. You know what? Why do you want me to show you this?
subscribe to
and
my
then- but I-
Pornhub account.
Yeah. And no, they go, yeah, we want to just see, like, to show us what you did. Like, I showed them the 4 Pillars Assemble trailer, and they fucking loved it. My dad couldn't stop laughing at the end when James said "get out" to Elva. Like, my dad was literally pissing his pants laughing. He thought it was the funniest thing he'd ever seen. But the things they loved was the vlogs that we did.
Mhm.
Where we went around to these different places. They loved. They go, "Oh my god, this is awesome! We can actually see what you do." Because to my parents, they don't know what I do,
Yeah.
with this shit, and they could actually see, stuff I was doing and things like that. So they thought that was really cool, stuff like that. And those just little things. And the amount of Patreon growth we got from all the content we put out and early access content was our biggest month ever. So business wise, yes, James, it would be a good move because we wouldn't just be making podcasts. We could do so much more.
Exactly.
Yeah.
You and I doing anything together equals more money.
Exactly. That's why
Like,
we gotta
whatever-
do
whether
it.
it's
That's the
a-
really
whatever
important
it's a-
thing. Not the content, not the fans.
Yeah.
Not the friendship.
dollars.
Not our friendship. No, I
Just-
don't care about that. I just want the money.
Not our friendship. Just the dollar signs. Like you, but this is the thing. I could put any video out, or James put a video out playing Unity. But if he plays Unity co-op with Dynamite, there's just extra views there.
Yeah,
You
everyone's
put
like,
it-
oh
put it-
yeah, let's do it. It's any of the pillars together. That's why that
And that's
video we
exactly-
did where it was me, you, and George playing Unity, and obviously
Yeah.
only playing Unity, was really good,
Yeah.
and everyone loved
They
it.
got so many views.
It did get so many views
I was like, that's too many views for a Unity co-op video
in 2019. Yeah,
in 2019. But you put Dynamite on there, and I mean, it probably would have done better if that was the only name that was on there. But
Yeah. I agree. But you're also trying it with Conbrosations as well. You're putting that in there, so you're gonna get even more views
Exactly.
there. So
exactly right, 100%. Let's just move on to the next topic, huh? Or the next
what's next?
the next category, guest of the year.
Ooh, guest of the year, gamers.
Do you feel the nerves? Do you feel the nervousness from our two guests? They
Oh
want
god,
them
I'm
so
so
bad.
fucking nervous. If we don't win this, we're gonna have to do the oh
The
yeah,
golf clap.
they won.
Oh,
yeah,
yeah.
they deserved it. Yeah, that's what they
yeah,
did.
Brett, really well done.
Yeah. So the nominees for guest of the year are Conbrosations, Eddie and Sheps.
I like the sound of it.
They sound good. Just
Yeah.
give them the
It
award.
sounds like quality.
Oh. We're good.
Robin Gaming,
We're fucked.
Gaming.
Colin Moriarty. Hey, by the way, Eddie Sheps, I love you guys. I fucking love you guys. But like, you say your names, and then I'm saying Robin Gaming, and then Colin Moriarty. It's like, well,
It's like,
We had
oh,
stiff
Conversations.
competition.
I heard those
Yeah.
guys. They're really good. Robin Gaming. Well, that's just unfair. Colin Murray. Oh, that's not
and
good
then it
either.
gets worse.
Jesus.
The last two of the 4 pillars.
Yeah.
Fuck!
It's like
and
this.
then,
Oh,
and then, yeah,
God.
and the other nominees are Ethan and George, the last two of the 4 pillars. The 4 pillars, yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah. So those are the nominees for guest of the year. But I mean, you get the rub. Your names are next to their names.
I mean, I do like a rub from you.
We do like rubs, yeah,
Yeah.
from you guys.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I know you both do. I've
It's
seen
true.
it.
This
I've
is
done
our claim to fame. We were included on a list.
That's what they're gonna say on Wikipedia. It's gonna be nominees for the As Always Awards.
Let's make a Wikipedia page.
We-
I'm going to put that in there.
Benedict Parker, who are Conbrosations?
So the winner is, for the guest of the year
I
2019,
think it's pretty obvious.
to no surprise, it is Ethan and George, the Four Pillars.
Oh,
Yeah.
fuck them both. Whoa.
That's actually who I voted for.
Good than I didn't. You're like, I'm gonna vote true. We're fucking terrible.
Now, I will say this, and not George, Ethan pointed this out. He goes, I don't know why we were nominated, because we're kind of an extension of the show. It's pretty unfair. And I'm like, it's probably true. I'd say next year we won't nominate Ethan and George, because they're kind of just the other two hosts of the show.
Yeah, true.
Like,
They come
on
on
a
every
host
10
show,
episodes. It's not really the same.
It's literally it's partly their show as well. Like, it's So
Yeah.
I like how you guys got you in the photo, you two in the photo as well. Like, it's meant to be Ethan and George.
yeah, I can't not use a photo of all four of us in the same room, because there's no picture of, George and Ethan, just the two of them together.
I would
Yeah,
have
there's
photoshopped you
Strange
guys.
duo. What a strange duo.
Imagine the two pillars, just actual pillars there.
Imagine if Ethan and George did like collaborations together, just the two of them, without James and I there.
That's so weird.
Oh shit! I said those cunts. I was supposed to do the golf clap thing.
Oh, yeah.
Sorry. Yeah, those guys deserved it.
Well
Those guys
done.
did,
Well done for rigging this award. Well done. You
thank
did.
guys,
Yeah, good.
Ethan and George.
Now, can I point out, and of course, you can never say like
How far in last did we come?
if I'll say the Four Pillars won significantly
Right.
by a lot. And who knows what everyone else would have voted for if they didn't vote for them. If we took him out, who knows where the votes would have gone. But I will say that Conbrosations
Dead last.
was second.
Second. What? High five, bro.
That is
There you
madness.
go.
I mean,
Yeah.
that's great. That's
We
good
need
for you
Conor
guys.
Moriarty, bro. That's got big names right here.
We'll pay you all later, boys.
Yeah, we'll
Hit
pay
us
you
up
all
on
later.
Discord. Thank you.
Yeah. So I
Thank
did
you,
want to tell you guys this, and I wouldn't normally say this because it's and I wasn't going to go through who James and I thought, because we're not allowed to say who our favorite guests of the year are,
Right.
because that's we love
Say
all
it's
of the
comic.
guests.
We know. Fuck.
No, I'm just joking. But it's like, I love all those. Like, when I read that list, I'm like, holy fuck, we have some good guests. Like, we haven't had that many guests this year, but that's a cool list of people, and they're all fun for different reasons. Like, it's so ridiculously cool that someone I've looked up to forever, like Colin's been on the podcast twice, and I could put him on that list. Robin Gaming, he's one of the best YouTube content creators in games out there today. He is amazing.
Yeah, I agree.
And it's a great podcast to have him on for the first time and get to know him. And then the Four Pillars are the fucking Four Pillars. And you two being able to do our community group and the dynamic you two share together, and then that you bring to this show. It's a great fucking list. So I don't have favorites. I love it all for different reasons. Love you guys all for different reasons.
Well, I appreciate that. I was gonna say
really do.
for us, we're sort of like having the Four Pillars light. Like, I don't think we really fit as guests, because this is more of like a bro hangout sesh than it is a.
Yeah, we're all like bros and family and shit. That's what we are.
Right.
Family.
Yeah, so we're like, I don't know. I think we bring a different energy than a regular guest would to a
Yeah.
podcast. That's just, I mean, that's my interpretation. That's actually one of the reasons I voted for the Four Pillars, because I was like, it's cool to have them all.
I want to say, you said that, Tyler himself said that it wasn't really fair that they put Ethan and James on.
I completely agree. And we'll humbly accept the award.
So by his logic, his own logic, that should be nulled and void from the running.
It's true.
And then
so what you're saying is,
I think you're right. I mean, I'd buy that.
That's
a lawyer.
Solid logic right there. Thank you so much for this award.
Graciously accept. We weren't expecting to win it, but I mean, of course we would.
Of course, we knew.
Sorry, Colin. Better luck next time, buddy.
We like you. Sorry.
To be honest, it was. I'm surprised that it was even the one that we were on the list, but
we came so close.
Yeah, I mean, considering that you have.
I mean, you weren't close. She came second, but it wasn't.
Sorry, there was a big margin, but we came second.
Yeah, you did. You came second.
Yeah. That was surprising, no, but yeah, okay, all right.
No, it's cool.
I forget that.
The other really cool thing is the quality of guests you guys have on.
Yeah, that's impressive.
Which you must be really good at tricking people onto this thing.
Yeah, teach us.
You have no idea, man.
Those Jedi mind tricks.
Right.
Yeah, 100%. It's always shocked us, but we got it early. Like when we got Victoria Akin on like the 9th episode ever of Kill Connor Club, where we just started doing this, and we're like, wait, we can actually get real guests on, and we tricked ourselves that early that we can pull off getting guests. So there's no guest we've ever had that we're like, oh, we can't get them. So we always just like shoot our shot and try to get people on, and people just fucking say yes somehow.
Yeah. That's how
bizarre.
we do for the games conventions and stuff. We just
score like press passes and stuff like that and whatnot.
We're just like, we're a big deal. So says
Trust
us.
us. Trust us.
Yeah. I don't get that, but yeah, totally. I'll give you press passes. But also there's so many content creators. These people just want to bring people. All you got to do is ask me, like, yeah, okay, I'll do it. It's so easy just to ask.
Yeah.
We've rarely been said no to, with some guests. We've got close with some guests and it didn't happen, but the only time we've been said no to is a Booby Castle. No, he didn't say no. It was.
It was Ubisoft. No. They turned around. They said, "No, man, you're not doing it." At least
he was told he wasn't allowed to come on the show.
I think it was Ubisoft. I don't know.
Well, no, we do know that, don't we? We weren't allowed to say it at the time, but I don't care now. So, yeah, that's why the Booby Castle podcast didn't happen, because Ubisoft stopped him from doing it. But yeah, there you go, ladies and gentlemen.
To be fair, in 2018, we weren't known for good. I mean, it was my fault, but we weren't known for good things. I think it's fine now. I think we're all right. But
I do think we're all right. I think this is the perfect time to rebrand the show and get big guests on.
And it's way easier to trick them now, because we won't even be called the same thing. We're like, "You want to come on the As Always podcast?" Like, "Oh, that sounds professional and good." They come on and they realize, "Oh, it's those two." Shit.
Those fuckers.
What have we done?
But they've been tricked. Yeah. It's
And then they're stuck.
It's like anything. It's like my last girlfriend. At first you pretend to be a good person, and then it's too late. You're mine now. So it's like, you're stuck with me. That's it. That's how it works. All right.
Dating advice right there.
Yeah, thanks.
And on that note, that's the end of the show, guys. Thanks very much.
Oh god.
The
next category, ladies and gentlemen, is video of the year. Ooh. So we went around to the 4 pillars, and each one picked a video, except George, because he was too late. But though he did pick the same one I picked, but I'd already picked it. So I was like, pick something else. He never got back to me, so I just picked another one. Since I'm like, oh, okay, he can have mine. Which is, the nominees are the 4 Pillars Assemble trailer.
I did love that.
Yeah.
That got my vote. I'm going to spoil it. I voted for that.
AC Odyssey broke me.
Whee! I think that's a good
AC
one.
Movie Drunk Commentary. That was my choice, since I actually picked the 4 Pillars Assemble trailer, but George wanted that, so I picked AC Movie Drunk Commentary. And the 4 Pillars Community Meetup Vlog from Ethan. That's the one he wanted. And I thought,
these are all great.
Great videos.
Tyler, you spelt broke me wrong.
First of all,
Assassin's Creed Odyssey broke me.
Hang on.
Look on the stream.
Hang on. No one pointed that out.
We just saw it for the first time.
That has been there since the beginning, and no one's ever pointed that out.
Awesome.
By the way.
Yeah, you're right.
I'm gonna bring up spelling errors.
I can't really talk. Can I?
Assassin's Creed Odyssey broke me.
Hey, we all know what it meant. That's the first time I've seen that.
I have no idea what it meant.
Yeah, well, I didn't notice that.
It broke me.
Anyway, James, I know what your vote is.
Yeah, I think either 4 Pillars trailer or the Odyssey video, because I've worked so fucking hard on that. I can't not vote for it. But either of those, I think, deserve the win, to be honest. Both great videos.
Now, for me, AC Odyssey broke me is
classic.
The best video from a YouTuber, like what the types of videos our community does and what the 4 Pillars do for so many years. It's the best video that's ever been made of our community. It is. And the impact it had, and how right it was, and how much work it was, how professional it was, and the impact it's actually had, both that everyone has seen, but even beyond that, that's some hush private shit. Mm-hmm. Like, this video made a difference. And
I can see that,
so it is, to me, the best video. But out of enjoyment, I think the 4 Pillars Assemble trailer is my favorite video I've ever watched in my life.
Yeah, it was great fun to put together too. Like, it was just complete fun. I don't think there was a moment where I was like, oh, this is just a lot of hard work. It was just really good fun to make and edit and put it out and everything. So the day we spent filming it was a blast. Like,
we knew we were going to do this sort of trailer going in for years. We've known we'll do like an Avengers Assembled sort of trailer when we come together. But the idea for the trailer wasn't made until the morning. We knew we were going to film that day, but we had no concept of what the trailer was going to be. And I just wrote it in the morning in my head. And then I go, James, I got the idea. And then we just did it. And James edited together this masterpiece video, which is incredible. All the videos are great. Like the Assassin's Creed movie drunk commentary was so hilarious. Oh my God. And people love it.
You've been desyncing in the animas. That's one of the funniest fucking things. It's so fucking stupid. It's so funny.
It's incredible. And then to have the vlog of the actual meetup itself was
Ethan did a good job of that.
Super, super special. And I'm really, you know what I'm actually annoyed by? There was a lot of footage that Eddie and Shep's got. And they put some stuff on Twitter, but I didn't see a fucking vlog made. What the hell?
Yeah, where did that footage go?
We didn't want to stain our channel with your faces.
That's true.
Right.
It is true.
No, we recorded some stuff, but it wasn't enough for a vlog. It was just sort of like, okay, we did this fun stuff here out of context. I mean, to be fair, we could have recorded something.
We could have. We didn't think about it. The best footage we actually got was you getting your signed copy.
Yeah, that was the best footage. Right? I think that was what it was. Yeah, we just, and also we didn't. This was pre the sort of explosion you've given us. So I don't know if that would have been anything really. Like, would people have seen it? Would people have get? It would have been fun. Maybe in retrospect, we should have done something.
I mean,
don't worry. In the future, we're gonna give you guys all the love that you deserve. Don't worry. We promise. Please don't leave us.
Billy goes, is the Four Pillars Assembled trailer the official sequel to Swog? And I said yes. Swog is Ethan's solo film.
Yeah, it's his origin story.
Yeah, that's his origin story. So that's what Swog is.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So that's just so people are wondering, Swog is the official solo film for Ethan. James, what's your solo film? What's your origin film?
I don't know, to be honest with you.
It's a bit earlier because we've done Civil War. That's our series of
you're right.
Our multiplayer battles. So we've done our Civil War.
What is my origin story? I don't know. What would my origin story be? I don't know.
I don't know either.
No.
Yeah, I have no idea. Now that I think of it. The 24-hour streams, they're coming to the tree, or something.
Oh yeah, are you coming to the tree?
Yeah.
That's great. Or maybe like the thing me and Luke did that little Doctor Who skit. That's more of a
your Doctor Who doll thing. Story. That could be your origin story.
Maybe.
Yeah.
Maybe it could be. Yeah, definitely.
True. Anyway, let's announce the winner.
Okay.
Can I get a drum roll, please, from somebody? There we go. The winner, the 2019 As Always Awards Video of the Year. AC Odyssey Broke Me.
Hey!
Congratulations to James. Well deserved.
Whoa, James. You've spelt the thumbnail wrong. Thumbnail's wrong.
Shit, I put broke and not boke. What have I fucking done?
What an embarrassing moment right there. God.
Oh, God. Yeah.
I'm quite happy about that.
That's a good win. That's a good win. Right
None of my picks winning.
It's funny. It's almost like you have bad taste. It's almost like
I don't know how that.
I mean, you like me, so they.
James, the chat saying Nalog is your.
Oh yeah, Nalog is mine because I have a trilogy of like.
You do have a trilogy.
Yeah, that makes sense. Nalog 2, and Nalog 3.
Yeah, yeah. I think my origin story is the burger challenge. I think that's my origin story.
That makes sense.
Yeah, eating every burger on the McDonald's menu.
What about George? What's his origin story?
He doesn't have one. Fuck him.
Okay.
That's
fair. Yeah. All right.
He's gonna have his ending story in 2020 when he battles me. But other than that, but yeah, Assassin's Creed Odyssey Broke Me, fucking well deserved. Amazing video, no doubt in my mind. I voted for it.
Golf clap.
Yeah.
Thank you, everybody. Thank you. I want to thank my family. I want to thank my fans for all of the support. I want to thank everybody. Thank you. I really appreciate it.
Amazing. It's when I think of this video of how important it was, is the weirdest place. I watched Assassin's Creed Odyssey Broke Me in New York in a Starbucks after I left, because it was the day I was flying to London, and I had to check out of my Airbnb, and then I had like 2 hours. I had nothing to do, where I've got all my luggage with me, and I'm like, I'm not going to fucking airport now. So I went to a Starbucks, used their fucking Wi-Fi, and just watch. I was like, I'll watch AC Odyssey Broke Me and just sit here for 2 hours.
Oh,
I'm just that asshole that just hangs around with his laptop. But yeah,
I love that it's become a
great.
meme. Like, people will change the thumbnail to be like Assassin's Creed Odyssey and then change the subtitle to something really something else that's stupid and dramatic. Because Broke Me sounds so over the top, which was what I was going for. But people will change it to something else, and it's so fucking funny. I like that as a meme.
Yeah, it's a great meme. It's a great fucking meme. Great video. Now on to not the best, but the worst. The blunder of the year of 2019.
The blunder of the year.
This is my favorite category, and you're gonna know why when we get to the announcement. But we'll go through it. The nominees, ladies and gentlemen, for Blunder of the Year 2019 is Ghost Recon Breakpoint. God awful.
Quite a blunder.
Mm-hmm.
Game of Thrones Season 8.
Oof, another big blunder right there.
Yeah. Bethesda with Fallout First.
Oof, that was... Oh, God. Okay.
These are prime examples.
Yeah.
So.
Assassin's Creed Odyssey, The Fate of Atlantis expansion DLC.
Oof.
Just god awful. Like, Ghost Recon Breakpoint I wasn't sure about. But Ubisoft sent me a copy, and I played 2 hours, and it crashed 8 times in 2 hours. And I kept getting sent back all the way back to where I'd loaded it up. So every time I got anywhere, it crashed. I'd have to start again. And it looked like a game made in 2007.
Oh,
Yeah.
it's so bad.
Awful. Like, you saw me streaming it, James.
Mm-hmm.
And you're like, what the fuck is this? I was like, this is the new Ghost Recon that just came out.
Oh, so confusing. It just doesn't look like it just came out. Looks like you picked up an old game for your PS3, and you were like, oh, let's play this old game. But it wasn't.
Oh, they must have stopped patching it. Oh, yeah. Did Logic brought up one that wasn't nominated here because having Conbrosations on the podcast, the biggest blunder.
Yeah.
That's up there.
Thanks for that.
That should have been on there.
That's up.
Go on, what do you think? Which one do you think is the worst?
Yeah, let's see all of our picks.
Okay, my pick. I'm gonna start with this. The worst thing out of all of this to me is the Fate of Atlantis expansion Face Odyssey. To me, that's the worst thing. But I expected it to be bad.
Yeah.
To me, my pick's Game of Thrones Season 8 because it went from being the most popular show of all time to one of the most hated shows of all time.
Mm-hmm.
Like, it's pop culture. Game of Thrones is pop culture. It could have been pop culture for the next 40 years. It probably will be a little bit, but it lost so much of its long-lasting impact. It's going to be something that isn't remembered fondly because of how it ended.
True.
Yeah.
That's why I think Game of Thrones Season 8 is the biggest blunder of the year. James, what do you think?
Yeah, I think I'm in agreement, because although The Fate of Atlantis is very clearly the worst piece of media out of all of these, it was very obvious that was going to be the case. There was I wasn't going into Fate of Atlantis going, oh, this could be really good, and then I was let down by it. I was going into it
but
like,
it was
let's
somehow
see
worse than you would expect.
just how bad. I mean, yeah, it was somehow worse. Like, I went into it like, let's just see how bad this is. And when you go into it, you're like, wow, they didn't even fucking try, did they? It is terrible. It's broken. It's unbalanced. It doesn't make any sense. The voice acting's even worse than the main game. The animations are fucking terrible. It is terribly structured. It is a dreadful piece of media, and the fact they charged anybody for it is ludicrous. But also, I knew that it was going to be bad in some capacity, whereas Game of Thrones Season 8 is so disappointing because Game of Thrones was my favourite show for such a long time, but it's such a shame that Season 8 sucked so bad. So I've got to go with Game of Thrones Season 8 as the biggest blunder, because they went from the best show to one of the worst things I've ever seen, whereas I knew Fate of Atlantis was going to suck, so...
See, Fate of Atlantis would probably still be third. Like, Bethesda's Fallout first? Like, what happened to Bethesda and Fallout? Imagine Bethesda and Fallout being the most hated thing in gaming.
Yeah.
Because they're fucking up there.
Did they do that?
That's going to be my pick, because, I mean, while I do think the Game of Thrones Season 8 going from such a high to such a low is the biggest blunder, I want to know what happened, what series of events. I need a whole documentary on this thing where Bethesda were like, our game is on fire, our game is not selling well, it's being talked about as the biggest mistake ever in gaming,
burning to the ground.
And how many people got in a room, in a conference room together with how many teas and how many biscuits, and then go, guys, we can offer a premium subscription on top of this thing that people already hate. I need to see the documentary.
They're using this as a benchmark for how not to make a game.
Right.
Let's make them pay for it.
There we go.
Can't remember. I honestly can't remember if I picked Game of Thrones or Bethesda, but it was one of them for the same reason, which is both of them. This move, so out of touch, not just with the fan base, but with reality and the product that they're making. If it's not one of them two, I'll be surprised. Because Ghost Recon, like, it's not a Call of Duty, right? It's one of those, like, it's not even a Battlefield. It's like
it's just a bad game. It was just a bad game.
The Ghost Recon name is the thing that makes them a lot. Tom Clancy makes them a lot of money. Yeah. So the fact that it went down so far and it failed is a big thing to them. But to us, is it too big?
Exactly.
That's the
thing. So it's not like a giant cultural phenomenon. If it was a Call of Duty that came out and it looked like it was from 2003, that's one thing, right? But it's a different thing. And the AC Odyssey. It's like
no one really cares about AC and the AC community.
Exactly.
That's the problem.
I mean, could you imagine, like you know how we're professional content creators on YouTube? Imagine if you were based on something like Assassin's Creed, you'd feel pretty pathetic.
I agree with you.
Right.
Yeah. You'd want to. I mean, it'd break you, wouldn't it?
It would.
It would break you. Push you to the edge of suicide. I would imagine. Not that I would know.
Yeah, you would hope.
You definitely consider suicide. You
definitely think about it at least 3 times a day. You wouldn't. Obviously, you wouldn't do it because you're too much of a coward to take that path. But I know we're all laughing, but I am in emotional pain.
That's the pain comes through his voice, and it's
that's the funniest thing I've said, James. Oh God.
Oh, wow.
Oh fuck. The more I think about it, the more I laugh. Oh God.
Oh shit.
Okay. Now I will say this is the closest category. In this sense that Ghost Recon Breakpoint isn't the winner, I'll say this. Okay. And didn't get a lot of votes. But the other 3 are neck and neck. It's the closest with more than 2. There's like a lot of categories that 2 were close, but this is the only one where like 3 were so tight. Only a couple percentage between all of them. So people like all agree that Game of Thrones Season 8, Bethesda, Fallout First, AC Odyssey, Fate of Atlantis were all fucking big blunders.
Yeah.
Now the winner.
This is a great list.
Yeah. Now the winner.
I think I know what it is.
For the blunder of 2019 is Assassin's Creed Odyssey and the Fate of Atlantis expansion pack.
There we go.
I don't know, man. I don't see Game of Thrones.
But did you play the Fate of Atlantis?
I haven't played Assassin's Creed.
We saw such glowing reviews, so we thought
what I saw from James is literally like, don't even think just out of touch. It's honestly like fucking retarded people made it. It's like, this is what we want you to describe it. It's like you genuinely got like special needs to come in who have never made a game, and they gave them all the equipment to make games and all the assets, and like, you guys make this DLC, and that's what was released.
I watched Ethan play it, and the voice acting was fucking awful. The script was awful. Yeah. I was like, what is this person saying? What?
Yeah.
It was really...
It's like you're playing one of those shit indie games that you just sort of find online. You just like download or like... I've been sent so many like shit games from random companies that just sort of will send codes to like a bunch of people, and they're always terrible. It felt like one of those. It didn't feel like it was a AAA game made by Ubisoft. It is... I just don't understand how this ever got shipped. It is fucking dreadful. And there are people that will defend it. And I don't get it. It's so fucking bad.
Yeah.
It broke me, is what it did.
Yeah.
Pushed me right over the edge. To be fair, that is actually what did push me over the edge to make that video, so...
The Fate of
It's just that bad.
It is awful. It's
really-
definitely.
it
I
really
agree. I'm
is.
happy. Yeah, yeah. It's awful.
It deserves that win, definitely.
It does. It does. Now the next category is the most anticipated of 2020.
Okay.
Most anticipated of 2020. We've got 5 categories, and this involves movies, but I couldn't think of a movie that beat. There's no movie on this list. I wanted to put a movie on there, but there's no movie that beat these 5 things.
Okay.
So I had to put it on there. Here we go. Mostly games. Halo Infinite. The Falcon and the Winter Soldier. Next generation of game consoles. The Last of Us Part 2. And Cyberpunk 2077.
I was really surprised that the Snyder cut of Justice League wasn't on there.
Now we thought about it for worst meme of 2019, but we didn't have that category. That's the problem.
Right.
Okay.
So yeah. Not even like worst idea, just worst meme because it's such a joke and away from reality that it counts as a meme, not an idea. Yeah.
Come on, WB, release the Snyder cut, you cowards.
Oh, dude, speaking of Superman, I felt so bad for you, Eddie, with that Crisis Infinite thing.
It's not turning out well so far. It's not. We made a whole video on it as well
We
about
did.
like our disappointments and how things are going. And I'm a hopeful guy, so I have this thing inside my heart that's like quietly saying, "Somebody save me," waiting for Tom Welling to come back.
It's not gonna happen.
But
The thing is,
my brain saying no.
and the thing is, you were shocked by when I told you this, Eddie, but I actually am a fan of Smallville.
Yeah.
And I watched the Tom Welling scene. I actually really liked it.
I liked it as well.
I really, really liked it as its own thing because it's very true to Smallville and who that Superman is.
Yes.
Okay,
That
so
he
talk
did-
amongst
that-
yourselves. We're going to do some Superman talk real quick.
Smallville podcast starts now.
Yeah. You go get a cup of tea.
Yeah.
So you had a problem with this, didn't you, Ed?
It was a problem because of like it was very Smallville, that scene.
Yeah, completely.
It's just that Superman, especially that version of Superman, the Smallville Superman, Clark Kent, does not walk away from the world and the responsibilities of being Clark Kent, Kal-El, Superman. And in that, it was just like, yeah, I walked away from it. I was like,
That doesn't fit with 10 seasons of...
yeah. The guy on multiple seasons gave up.
But who knows what happened in between now and like?
It's true.
I
It's true.
think about like I assume he's had his whole career where he was Superman forever,
That's
and he's gone through
So I had that same thought, which was it felt to me like this version, this Clark Kent has done the Superman thing. He set up the Justice League. He's beat all the big bads, and he's like, look, the world's safe. It's got the Justice League, and now,
That's fine. It's just that, well, obviously they didn't mention that.
You just wanted more. You just wanted more from it. I understand that.
Yeah.
I understand that you wanted more. But as someone that doesn't care, I just like Smallville, and I saw that, so I was like, "That's a nice scene. It's cool to see him back."
It was a nice scene. Yeah.
But what we really want, and I'm not even that big of a Smallville fan, but what I really want is for Tom Welling to put on the fucking suit and save the day.
Yeah.
Have him come in, break that dude's neck, and save the fucking day in the suit. That's what we need.
Even if it's like they're having a fight, and at the moment that like one of the Supermen or someone's gonna get hurt,
He
comes
Marvel
in
it. I don't care.
and smacks the guy in the face, and then gives them that pivot. Then that's enough for me as well.
Yeah.
But there you go. There you go.
Well, he is the best Superman, in my
Fact.
opinion.
He is.
I actually 100% agree.
What's really funny is that Tyler Hocohen, what's his name, the beta man guy. He looks so much shitter when he's surrounded by real Supermen.
You got Brandon Root and Tom Welling.
Oh my god, he's so terrible.
But
I feel sorry for the guy. Oh, I don't feel sorry because he's shit, but
Yeah.
I feel sorry for him because it's like me standing. Like, oh yeah, I've got some decent muscle, and then Arnold Schwarzenegger walks in. It's like, well, I'm nothing now.
Yeah. No, I agree.
He looks like a kid. He looks like if I was Superman. You know what I mean?
it's
Like
just-
if you cast me, I would be like, I'm like, oh yeah, okay. And then I stand up.
It's so unsatisfying to watch, and it's like you said about Tom Welling. The thing about Superman is that Superman isn't Superman. Superman is Clark Kent who puts on the identity of Superman when he has to, right?
Yes.
The reverse of Batman,
Yes.
who is Batman
Yes.
who plays Bruce Wayne.
Yes.
And he's the best Clark Kent we've ever seen. Therefore, he is also the best Superman we've ever
Yes,
seen.
because you have to nail Clark Kent. You don't nail Superman.
Right, exactly.
That's what you nail. There you go.
Correct.
Yeah, so that concludes the episode of Smallville Podcast. Tune in next week for more of that. Somebody save me. There you go.
Honestly, for your sake, because I don't give a fuck about it, but for your sake, like, I actually hope for you that they have Tom Welling come.
Nice.
I
What's
know.
this all about?
The thing is, as well, it gets even worse because he used his "bro, you have to watch this" card with me.
Yeah, so there's been this thing where I'd be like, I don't want to watch any like anime or anything like that to Sheps, but he's like, no, you have to do it. And I said, hey, let's watch this so we can watch together.
You said,
and it
"You
might be
have to
something
see
cool.
this."
Yeah. And I use that card, and then he turns around and goes to me, by the way, I've done this for you. Now we're doing an anime watch along as well. And I was like, no.
Yeah.
And it's not even something good that I've made him watch.
It wasn't even worth it.
Yeah. Anyway, let's move on. Let's do the most anticipated 2020.
All right. What's personally for me, it's tough. I don't care all that much about Cyberpunk really at all.
Because you're a tasteless cunt.
Anyway, I'm
Whatever.
True.
Philistine.
True.
Yeah, I don't really care. There's nothing that looks interesting about it at all to me. Next generation of consoles, that's cool. But I mostly look at it that I'm going to spend $800 on new consoles. Last of Us Part. So really, to me, it's like Halo Infinite, Falcon Winter Soldier, Last of Us Part 2. Halo 5 was the worst pile of shit I've ever played, so I'm nervously excited. I'm very nervously excited, but it's Halo. It's one of my all-time favorite franchises, so I am very excited, but nervous. Last of Us Part 2 looks like could be the game of the generation. You just don't know, but it looks amazing. I'm excited. But my phone case is Captain America. I'm wearing a Captain America shirt right now. I got a fucking Captain America keychain on my keys for my car. I love Captain America. Falcon Winter Soldier, they're my fucking guys. They're all I got left. Captain America. Falcon is Captain America. He's got the shield now. I can't wait for Falcon Winter Soldier. That's my most anticipated thing of 2020, is that show on Disney+.
Just so you know, this whole time I was going to Sheps. I was pointing at the Falcon and Winter Soldier on the screen. I was like, he's gonna pick that one.
Yeah.
He's gonna pick that one. That's gonna be his one right there. And you did it.
Yeah.
Go on, James. What do you pick?
Really did.
Okay. I think for me it's a pretty easy one. Next gen consoles is what I'm most anticipated for. Look, I'm excited for Cyberpunk. I'm excited for The Last of Us, Falcon Winter Soldier, and Halo Infinite will be cool. But I think next gen consoles hold so much more because it's, for one, we're going to get to see what power they have, what they can do. On top of that, what games we're going to be getting, like the return of maybe some big names. Like with the announcement of the new Xbox comes potentially the announcement of a new Fable game, as well as what are Xbox doing
Which
in the
won't
next
be launched.
generation.
Hold your breath for
Every
Fable.
year, this guy's like Fable.
Oi, you just wait. When it happens,
It's being
I'm going to be
made.
the one
It is
laughing
being
because it's
fucking
fucking
made.
happening.
Playground Games are fucking making it. It's been reported for years that they're making a Fable. Plus, they even said at E3 in 2018 that Playground Games, after they showed their Forza Horizon game, they're like, they got a new studio. Playground Games are making a whole new game that's an action adventure. It's like, you
brand
mean
new open world game.
already,
yeah,
brand new open world game. It's like, yeah, we know Fable. We've already know about this, and they literally just like confirmed it without confirming it. It is happening, but it's a next gen game only. And we already knew it was early development. It's not going to launch because Halo Infinite's their big launch. And then Fable will be released either end of 2021 or mid 2022. But Fable 4 is fucking coming.
I think they're going to talk
promise.
about it. But regardless, next-gen consoles hold so much on both sides. There's just so much to it in terms of the, like I said, their power, what they're going to be doing, the future of Game Pass, and how Sony's going to compete with that. All of their exclusives on both sides to see what Xbox is actually going to do to try and compete in the next generation. So I'm most anticipated for the I think it's because there's so much we don't know about the next gen consoles, whereas everything else we know bits and pieces, and like I'm excited for all of it, but next gen consoles is like uncharted territory at this point, I think, for the most part. So that's what I'm looking forward to most, I think.
Yeah, that makes sense.
I was gonna say it's very, very difficult category. Let me start that again. Very difficult category here. Cyberpunk, I'm very, very excited for. It's going to be a huge game, I feel like, and it's going to be talked about by everybody, and there's going to be so many little nooks and crannies that people are going to explore. Some things that I'm not going to see, someone's going to come up to me and go, "Did you see this thing?" It's going to be so cool, and so many different ways to play the game. I think that's going to be awesome conversation. The next gen consoles, something that you said, James, about the like Game Pass and what Sony's going to do in response to it. I genuinely have this feeling that there is going to be something with PS Now that they're going to flip it on its head, and it's going to become a new thing, and it's become suddenly really relevant, and it's going to just, everyone's like, oh my god, now it's a huge competitor. and maybe they go for the Netflix of games model that everybody wants. Maybe. I don't know. But that is very, very interesting. And I do love the whole console race thing. Last of Us, we're going to get to see bigger, better, grittier version of Last of Us that we had before, which was amazing and whatnot. Falcon and Winter Soldier, it's not Superman, so no one cares.
True.
And Halo Infinite, I'm not the biggest Halo fan. I know MasterChef is a big thing. It's not something that's personal to me, so that's not really something like that. So I think I'm going to go for... I think I'm going to go for next-gen consoles. I think I'm going to go for that as well. I'm there with James.
I'll do my list in reverse. Don't care about Falcon and Winter Soldier.
Yeah.
I only care about Cap.
I
only care about... In fact, can you even see me on the Skype? Like, I'm wearing a Captain America shirt. I only care about Cap. And don't get me wrong, the Winter Soldier and Civil War and all that stuff is all great, but...
I think it's going to be a fantastic TV show.
I hope it will be.
Yeah.
But I just, it's not Cap, and Cap's who I care about.
Sure. I love I love everyone in his crew. Like, I love...
Yeah, and that's fair.
I love Bucky. I love Sam. I fucking love Sam.
But it's just, he's just not... I'm there for Cap.
Yeah.
Next-gen consoles, which is pretty much the mainstay of our channel at the minute.
Yeah.
So, ironically, I don't care either.
Really?
I just... It's because PC peasants... They're a thing. You know, like, the gaming's going to get pushed forward regardless of what it's being played on, right? I agree that clearly the PlayStation is by far the superior...
Yes.
The master race, if you will.
Yes.
I've been listening to speeches from this guy from Germany, actually, and he has a lot to say about the console stuff, master races and stuff.
Oh, yeah. This guy from Germany.
Yeah,
Does he have a decent, like, moustache and whatnot?
He does. He's not the full beard like me, but the good moustache.
Just a little moustache.
So he's had some great speeches. We'll take some notes.
Hitler jokes.
So I actually don't care about the next gen because gaming's going to be pushed forward by something, right? It doesn't have to be the PS5 or the Xbox, whatever the fuck they're calling it now. So then it's down to Halo, Last of Us, and Cyberpunk. And Halo's just not it. I love the Master Chief. I love Master Chief. I have put so many hours on the original 3 Halos. But Infinite has so many dings to the franchise to overcome.
It's got everything at stake. This is the future of the franchise. Is it dead forever, or...
Exactly.
Yeah.
Can they keep it alive?
And I'm not sure from everything that we've uncovered exclusive on the Conbrosations channel about the new consoles. But for real, it looks like the Xbox is going to be the least ideal of the consoles. And so I don't know if I'm going to be getting it first. So it's not going to be my release title. So it's not super important to me. If I get an Xbox, it will be because Halo Infinite is good. Yeah. Put it that way, right? Yeah. That game will buy the console for it, you know?
Yeah.
Go on.
No, go on. I was going to say, so it's Cyberpunk, but you haven't said Last of Us yet.
Yeah. So yeah, it is Cyberpunk. But The Last of Us looks amazing. And in particular, like the way they've changed I want more to do in the game. Last of Us 1 is a great story, but it's not the greatest gaming experience. There's 4 enemies, and you can hide, and that's it. Yeah.
They look like they've upgraded it a lot now.
Exactly.
I'm 100% with you, Ships.
Yeah, it's an amazing story. That's how a story should be told, but it's not.
Amazing game that's overrated. Amazing game that's overrated.
Amazing story that's overrated as a game. But yeah, like there are 4 enemies, and changing the difficulty does this. You find less shit. You know, you're rich when you find a dirty pair of torn boxers.
Yeah.
Right? And the enemies have more health and you do less damage. That's it. They don't get smarter. They don't do anything. You can't do anything. It's a very basic game, but it's an amazing story. And I like that there's more gaming involved, and hopefully the story will be on par. Cyberpunk's got me really excited.
It's got a lot more game as well.
It's got a lot more game.
It looks like they have a great story too.
It's got a lot more game. It looks like there's a lot more ways to play it. And CD Projekt Red, they won me with The Witcher 3.
Yeah.
They won me over. And I knew CD Projekt Red had me before the game was even done, downloading onto my console, because I was looking through. It was the first time in ages, like back when you used to get a game, like you get a new Pokemon game, and there was a booklet of stuff to read. Same in old like games. Like I was flicking through that shit when I was loading in The Witcher 3. And like the second or third thing was a thank you note, like thank you for buying our game. We couldn't do this without you. And I was like, I've never been thanked for buying a game before. And then it was The Witcher 3.
Yeah.
And then they came up with that DLC, like 40 hours or something ridiculous, 30 hours of DLC. That was incredible. Don't you me, bro.
No, I've played the first
You played one.
and it took me 40 hours. Because I died. No, but I was going to say, and also they built all that game around the core game, which was Gwent.
Yes, exactly.
Mm-hmm.
So I think Cyberpunk for me.
That's fair.
What won it?
The winner of the most anticipated of 2020 is The Last of Us Part 2.
Oh,
Fair.
all right.
Fair enough.
As I said,
Makes
those
sense.
last, I couldn't decide between them, and it was very tough.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The Last of Us is
Can't wait to
as long
see
as the story is
Joel.
still good.
Yeah.
Like I have a little bit of a worry, which is that the story won't be as good, but the gameplay experience will be better. But it's more about the story. It's got to be as good a story and have good gameplay. You know?
I think they'll nail it. I
I
have
hope
faith in
so.
Naughty Dog. I have faith in them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now here's something. Just I'm very excited about Last of Us Part 2 because Uncharted 4 was so incredibly amazing. Just mechanically, to have a Last of Us with that and then some. Stepping it up.
Yeah.
I think I'll enjoy it a lot more than I did the first Last of Us because I was late to the first Last of Us and I hate zombie games. Hate them. Hate zombie movies. Hate zombie games. Hate zombie everything. I think it's lazy. I think it's boring, and there's nothing about it that interests me.
Tell us how you
But-
really feel.
Yeah, don't filter.
Yeah.
You know, should go for it.
But Last of Us, I still really enjoyed. I thought it was still really, really good. It's the only zombie thing I've ever actually really enjoyed.
Yeah.
But everyone tells me it's the best game ever. It's their favorite game ever. I'm like, well, no,
It's not a very
and it was
good game.
People are also like,
Play.
it's not even a zombie game. It's a survival game. It's about the characters. I'm like, oh, but also it's a zombie game. So never tell me it's not, because it is. It's a fucking zombie game.
Yeah,
It is
yeah,
completely a
ultimately
zombie
it is. And this is the thing: the gameplay is not good. You can't do much.
I
There's
don't
just-
know.
Yes.
I like the gameplay personally.
I'm not saying it isn't fun. I'm just saying you can't do much.
I think what it is they tried to go for like an aspect of kind of like realism in that situation when the zombie's coming at you. You're not going to be able to A, think straight,
Yeah.
and B, be able to pull out like the amazing, fantastical equipment that you do in whatever other video game that you may say.
Yeah, I get that.
And I think that's what they were doing. However, you have to also consider whether that makes it fun for the person who's playing it.
I mean,
I found it fun, and I played it on Grounded as well, and that was the way I
That's
wanted to
not
play
fun.
because I wanted that feeling of I'm fucked if I don't nail this. That's what I wanted.
Jack and Daxter, that would be a good pick. So my beef with The Last of Us Part 1 is simply that you can do there are only 4 enemies.
Yeah.
And you can do about 4 things. You can hide behind something, you can throw something, you can stab someone, you can shoot someone. And there isn't much of a way that you can change those things up.
I think that that was the limitations of the PS3.
I agree.
I think that was
I think
it.
it's level design too. The way the level, like the sections are designed, like when you get into a combat scenario, it's like there are a few things that you can do, but the level doesn't really give you a lot of ways to change that up. Whereas if you're playing like another, I mean, from the gameplay I've seen in The Last of Us Part 2, it looks like the design of the level areas are so
absolutely.
much more complex, so you can really change up the way you want to tackle things. Whereas
Like-
everything was pretty flat
houses
in The Last of
on
Us
top
1.
of- Yes,
Yes.
that's it.
Yeah.
It
In
made
this,
the
like,
gameplay
inside
more
houses,
restrictive, I
on
think,
roofs,
yeah.
stuff like that.
Yeah, you can
It's all-
hide in the grass, that sort of thing. Because the level, most of the levels in The Last of Us, you've got, let's say it's a building, right? You have an open hallway and then 3 rooms to the left that all lead in onto each other with a pallet you can hide behind.
Yeah.
That's every level in The Last
Yeah.
of Us. Luckily, the story, the interactions between Joel and Ellie are incredible.
Yeah.
It's so amazing. But as a game, like the stuff you can do, there's just not that much to it. That doesn't mean it isn't fun to play. Like Star Fox back on the N64, which now I'm dating myself.
Yeah.
I mean, or like Mario Kart. There's only 2 things you can do: drive forward and shoot something. Right?
Yeah.
Ultimately, but it's still a ton
Still
of fun.
Yeah.
It's just
And that's what I think is going to get improved with this
I
one.
hope
It's
so.
going to, because like we said from the trailer and whatnot, there's obviously a variety of weapons and stuff like that.
Yeah.
The level design, like James is saying, is a lot better. You get to go inside buildings, outside buildings. The areas are more open. You get to go on rooftops and stuff like that. It's going to get a lot
and
better.
the AI is so much better. Like in The Last of Us 1, you shoot somebody and someone walks up like, "Hey, where's John?" And he's standing on the guy's body. Right.
Yeah,
In this,
yeah.
like you shoot the dog handler and the guy's dog's like, "Oh, what the fuck?"
Yeah, you shoot the dog handler and the dog's sad that you've killed his
Yeah,
owner,
yeah,
and then
exactly.
vice
Yeah.
versa as well. That's so cool.
The other thing is, I think there needs to be an incentive to play. Like you don't get XP from killing stuff.
Yeah.
So there's that doesn't mean there's an incentive for stealth. It means there's no incentive to kill stuff.
Attack, yeah.
Right, exactly. So I think they need to work on that as well. But it's going to be a big one.
Mm-hmm.
I completely agree. The Last of Us, to me, is the last kind of act of this generation of consoles too. It's like, what can this generation of consoles offer? I think we're about to see the peak of what these consoles can do.
Yeah.
Or what the PlayStation can do.
Naughty Dog seem to be the ones that seem to push it that far. They're like, even with Uncharted 4, when we saw those trailers, we were like, is this running on a PlayStation 4? Wow, how are they doing that while everyone else was doing great stuff, but not that level? So
but then Rockstar come out with fucking Red Dead Redemption 2, and you're like, well, fuck.
Well,
like, this is what can be done in God of War, and there's been a lot of amazing games this generation, and I'm excited to see what The Last of Us 2 has. But speaking of CD Projekt Red, with this last category is obviously The Witcher comes to mind. Now, Netflix has just released The Witcher TV show.
Yes, they have.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Now, James, you'll be happy. I've watched the first episode. I'm giving it a shot because
episode too. I haven't watched it anymore. I haven't had time, but
I sat down with a few of my friends.
The game, The Witcher 3 at least. Have you guys played that?
I have. Tyler has not and refuses to. And I'm scared it's going to become like Daredevil, where Tyler doesn't do it for the sake of it, and I'm really worried. Nobody ruined it for him. Don't tell Tyler to play The Witcher 3. Just wait, he'll do it, I'm sure. Don't tell him to do it, and it might happen.
Sure. It's a great game. It's a great storytelling experience for sure.
Now, well, I watched the first episode of The Witcher today.
Yes.
With your friends, and I really, really, really enjoyed it.
Yeah.
I was going to say dislike it.
Yeah, I was scared then. I was really scared then because I think it's really good. Which is crazy because I was so sure it was going to be shit. I was so fucking sure. I doubled down on it. I was like, this show is going to suck.
The leaked image of Henry Cavill. Do you guys remember that, where he's just sort of
standing? The perfect wig, the Halloween-esque type.
Oh my god, it was so bad. Everything, but for the show, like leading up to it, was pointing towards it being bad. Every little thing that came out, like when you're looking at the way the writer was handling things on Twitter, talking about all this stuff, like it led me to believe that they did not get The Witcher and this was going to suck.
You said something to me. What did you say? You said...
After watching the first episode. Yeah. So I said to you is that I didn't spoil anything, obviously, but what they nailed, and I'm so glad they did this in the first episode because it gave me that confidence boost, is that they perfectly explained and expressed how the world sees witches and how Geralt sees the world.
Yeah.
And I was like, they nailed it. They've done it. They can't fail from here on out. Did you feel that as well, you guys, in the first episode?
Oh yeah, 100%. They established everything just right. It just was the world of The Witcher, and it was Geralt perfectly. I don't know how they nailed it, but they somehow did it.
It took me the first 30 minutes. I was very confused by the world, right? Like I was trying to figure everything out, getting lost a bit. But by the end, like I felt like I got everything by the end. I did too, but I liked it. But I'm not complaining. I'm just saying that's how my experience of watching it, not knowing anything really about The Witcher other than I played 2 hours of The Witcher 2, was like, okay, I don't really know this world very well. I don't really know the go with it, but and I'm trying to like keep on track with who everyone is and how they're related to each other, and but by the end I felt like I got it and I really enjoyed that.
That's one of the things that I really like about world building in The Witcher, is it's set up very much like Game of Thrones does it. Is it doesn't throw all this exposition at you at the beginning and then spend all of like the first episode explaining everything to you. It just tells its story and it just shows you the world as it is, and I think that lets you in a bit more because it feels like a real place. It doesn't feel like a TV show trying to tell a story.
Absolutely.
It feels like you're just exploring this world, and like Game of Thrones does that. Like, it doesn't have like this is this character, they're related to this person, this is their motive. It just lets you into the world and you watch it, and as you're watching you learn everything as you need to, and you pick things up. You're like, oh, that's who that character is, that's their relationship, this is the politics of this area, this is how the world works. And it feels a lot more real when it does it like that. It just tells its story and lets you follow along rather than just explaining everything to you, which I think is way better.
Yeah, I think as well for like the games, like Tyler, if you were to play The Witcher 3, because that was my first Witcher title, you jump into this whole new world, and it's like you said, there's no exposition. You have to learn this stuff. You're getting told to go to these places. You don't know any of this stuff, but you give it a couple hours, and suddenly you start to learn
Pick
stuff,
up.
and then it becomes in my opinion, it's one of the greatest games ever made.
I
Yeah.
agree. Yeah, 100%.
Yeah.
And but the
well,
show can be very similar in that sense.
Well, the thing is, I have this idea for a series on my channel next year that I want to make, and do one video a month for 10 months, where I do like kind of retrospective-ish type things, but more look back at the top 10 games of the generation before the next gen consoles come out. I had an idea for that.
Okay.
And I thought to myself, it'd be hard to do that without playing The Witcher 3.
Yeah, that'll be a
definitely.
very.
Everyone would be
noticeable
angry at you.
gap.
Yeah.
Yeah. So the thing is, James,
Yes.
I've already installed The Witcher 3.
Oh my god.
Whoa!
Oh
here we
my
go.
god. It's happening.
Let me just say this as well, not to like add on to your plate, but the DLC, you should experience it because that is how DLC needs to be made. The DLC is every bit as good and
The greatest,
professionally
I think,
made,
yeah.
thought out and written as the main game.
Yeah.
Like you really need to see how DLC should be made.
I have to say, I really love the way Tyler played that, by the way. Like, he was pretending like, I'm not going to play, and then he goes, I have installed it. And I'm like, let's do it.
This ain't my first rodeo, Eddie. It's like I know what I'm doing.
Yeah, it's
It's
almost
like I
like...
know how to...
I don't know how
and
you luck to all of these bits, but keep going.
And the thing with The Witcher 3 as well with the DLC is, I mean, Hearts of Stone is fantastic and it ties into like the main story, but Blood and Wine is it acts as a sequel and as almost like an extended epilogue to The Witcher 3. Like, you have to play it. The way that it wraps things up and it extends Geralt's story and everything. Oh my god,
I like the way you said that. It is almost like a follow-up game. It's 20 hours or something like that. I mean, it's long. Maybe not that much. Maybe it's like 15.
I think people were saying around 20 to 30, something
it's
like that.
serious.
It's very long, yeah. It's
it's very long. We get a whole new map, like a whole new area. It looks different, but it still has the same feel. There's all these old characters that Geralt knows that we don't. He meets old friends and old enemies, and there's new politics, and it's incredible, man. And for the price of it, like, you could pick up a brand new Witcher Plus DLC now for like what, $30 or something.
I think it's even cheaper. I remember I bought the expansion packs with the Gwent cards in them as well. I'm fucking nerd, And I'm like, I have to buy these, and I think they were like £23 each.
Yeah.
So at £23, if you take out that, I think it's like 15 quid on PSN. 15 quid for another like 20 to 30 hours of a story that you already know is amazing.
The Last of Us is 8 hours long, and Heart of Stone is 10.
Yeah.
And it's a DLC.
Yeah.
Well, I'm excited. I'm not trying to overhype it for myself. I'm just gonna, really give it a shot. I want to stream.
Yeah.
I want to stream it.
You should. And what I will say,
I'd actually tell you why I'm not going to stream it, because it'll take me forever, because I don't have time to stream that much, and I feel like I'm just gonna get the chance to play it. I'll play it, but I need to fucking get together with Eddie again and set up my OBS again, because my computer's totally fucked itself.
I need to set up my stuff as well.
The new Mac, dude, the new iOS fucking thing fucked every app on my computer up.
Yeah,
every single app.
I don't upgrade my one because I'm like, everything's working. Why would I touch it?
Yeah, absolutely.
Right. Well, I've learned from that. Not going to do that again, but I need to set up OBS again to stream. That's why I haven't streamed, because I've been wanting to stream every week, but I'm like, it's going to take 2 hours to set up. I'm going to need you again.
Give The Witcher a fair few hours. It's very confusing up front. Now, you might not be as confused because you'll have gone through the series, maybe.
I feel like the series has got me excited to play now. I'd already installed it the other day.
Yeah.
But the series has got me understanding the world already, and I'm going to probably... Because I'm not going to start The Witcher 3 till the new year. Like, I still need to play Death Stranding. I need to play Call of Duty. I'm on the last probably 2 hours of Jedi Fallen Order right now.
Yeah.
So I've got a few things I'm just...
Let's spoil it.
It's on the backlog, but it's on the backlog, but... It's there. It's on the log of games.
It takes a while to develop because they have to, introduce you to everything.
I think he's gonna be fine. The way that I remember starting, it was a long time ago. We played it, obviously. I think getting the feeling of the kind of person Tyler is, the kind of gamer he is. Yeah. I think he's gonna dive right into it, and he's gonna get enraptured.
Yeah,
I think
it's so good.
I'm gonna leave you to it, and you're gonna come back to us. You'll be like, Eddie, specifically Eddie, you was right. Oh
Yeah,
my god, Eddie, you were right.
I mean, the game's a lot longer for me because I did every single side mission.
This guy is like, so you guys have heard the famous thing about Skyrim. He played Skyrim and played how many hours?
A fair few.
Fair few hours, and he never even met the Greybeards. That's the first thing you do.
Yeah.
How do you miss?
There was something shiny.
And you were like, oh, okay.
Right.
Anyway.
Yeah.
Oh, that's great.
Yeah.
That's Skyrim for you, though. That's Skyrim for you. But yeah. So I will play The Witcher 3, ladies and gentlemen. It's going to happen.
Amazing.
There we go.
You heard it here.
Yeah.
Oh man, what a game.
Big announcement. I've been really excited to tell James, but I wanted to
Oh
wait till
my
this
god,
podcast.
I'm so happy. There's so much we need to talk about. We should do a podcast on it when you finish it.
Okay, yeah. We do we can do it on a Kill Connor Club because spoilers won't matter because it's The Witcher 3.
don't- sure.
You can do it on a Kill Connor Club as it is dead.
Yeah, true. That,
True,
I
that's
mean,
a
it
good
has always
point.
podcasts, but
Yeah.
yeah, that is a good point. But I wouldn't mind doing a cinema room at the start of next year on the Witcher series. That'd be a good cinema room.
Yeah, for sure. Do you want to do one on Jedi Fallen Order as well? I feel like people might want to talk about it.
Not really.
You don't want to?
Like, I mean,
Alright.
Don't worry,
I don't
James.
mind.
I don't
I
think
don't
there's
mind.
that much to break down in it, if I'm being totally honest.
I'll do it with you, James. Don't worry.
All right.
I'm going to say this about Jedi Fallen Order. If I was to guess, I'm about halfway through it.
Yeah.
And I love the fact that it's Star Wars.
Yeah.
And I like running around as a space wizard with a laser sword.
So do I. Great.
Right, exactly. And force jumping and pulling and whatever, right? Wall running. I don't really care. There's no, as far as I can tell, there's not a huge amount of story. I'm not super invested in Cal Kestis.
It's a bit later on that all the story starts to piece together. That's the thing.
Okay.
And I do get your feeling because I felt that I was a bit scared.
I'm enjoying the shit out of it, but I'm not like invested in it.
Yeah, I think I get
I'm
what
with
you're
you. I'm with you,
saying.
Chips. Plus, also the game freezes all the fucking time.
Oh
and
my
pauses
God.
To
It's a
load.
buggy
Really?
mess.
It is a
bad.
buggy fucking. It's one of the most buggy games
What
I've
are you
ever
all
played.
What are you all playing on?
Xbox.
Like normal Xbox and normal
What do you
PlayStation.
expect?
Because I'm playing on. Well, I'm playing on. I don't know. I'm just thinking because it never happened for me. But I'm playing on Xbox One.
I'm on
X.
a day one. I'm on
maybe that's
day one
why.
Xbox One. Yeah, I don't rebuy the same console because a
probably
new
what it
version
is.
of it comes out.
Oh
Even,
yeah, but that
my-
4K.
Less than 1 year old Pro.
I don't have 4K.
Still doesn't run that great.
I had trouble. There were a lot of things. It is janky, like having to jump between stuff, and there's like bottomless pits below you.
Yeah.
I've died more trying to jump across stuff than by enemies by a long way.
That was the reason that I suspected why it didn't. So you know the reviewers only got the review codes for Jedi Fallen Order like I think it was like a week or 2 or 3 days before the Game Awards cutoff and whatnot, and people didn't vote for it. I think that was a purpose attempt because they were like, our game is in such terrible state. We don't want people to think that when they go to put us for nominations because then it'll be pointless. So I think that's why they did it. That's just my theory. I don't know if that's possible.
Yeah, it's it is very buggy. Like great game. Like I
crazy.
do think it's an amazing game and it flows well. It's well paced and it's a lot of fun. But it is definitely technically not very good bug-wise.
That's really strange. I'm gonna do the classic Unity fan thing here, but I didn't have any bugs in Jedi Fallen Order.
Yeah, I've all the time. Like I'll just be
Well,
running
okay,
and
I didn't have no
freeze, and it'll
bugs.
freeze, and I'll literally see there'll be no enemies. Like there was a planet I was on. Without spoiling things, a planet I was on, and I had to I had to run away.
Mm-hmm.
I had to run away, and from something, and run to the ship.
Right.
And as I was running the ship, where the ship should have been, there was just empty space. It hadn't loaded any of it. And then it paused and just sat there for about 15 seconds, and then everything disappeared and loaded. Yeah.
That is crazy. It
But
must
that's
be
regular. That's
really-
normal.
yeah.
It's happened probably 25 times.
It must be really badly optimized for like the original consoles. I had
it
no
doesn't
idea.
feel well optimized at all.
I had no idea.
It's on the Unreal Engine instead of like the usual stuff that they're allowed to use over there at EA. And I had to think that maybe they just weren't as prepared for it. And they didn't
using Unreal.
Yeah, maybe they just weren't as like if someone goes, "Oh, this is my car," and then they get chucked into another car, and they're like, "It's a bit." I need a bit, a bit of time to get
Respawn
used to it.
asked to use Unreal because EA wanted them to use Frostbite because they always use Frostbite. EA will like use Frostbite, and Respawn were like, "No, we don't want to use it." Because we're not familiar with it, so that's why they used Unreal, which would make you think it should be better, but I don't know. It might be EA pushing it then. That must be what it was to make it so unoptimized. It must be classic EA being like, just get the fucking game out now, please.
Just get the game out.
Yeah.
What was I going to say? One thing that I will say that is more funny and kind of annoying sometimes. You know when you're getting your powers, And every
Oh my
time,
days, I hated
every
this.
time it's like, oh, I've just remembered I have this power. I'm like, there are times where I'm in the game. I'm like, if you in 10 minutes suddenly remember that you have this force ability that would get me across this gorge right here, I'm gonna fucking slap you, Cal Kestis. I swear to God.
The force pull.
Yeah. And then 10 minutes later, motherfucker's like, oh yeah, my training. Oh yes, I can.
But you
do
can
that
see it
amazing
coming
thing.
half the time. You go to something on a planet and it's like, okay, I'm about to learn this ability. Like I can fucking see it coming.
But it's just so lazy because it's like the whole way through the game he's banging on about his great master and all this stuff, and then he's like, oh yeah, and that's right. He taught me this basic lesson. He taught me how to run. That's right. Now I can run.
And now I can jump. Oh, there you go.
Yeah.
I'm imagining that he wakes up one day like can't breathe. He's like, I can't breathe. How do? And then he has a flashback. Oh, I can remember
That's
how
right.
to breathe. There we go.
Yeah, it's weird because they try and explain it. Like they do their best to like be like, oh, this is why you don't have this ability at the beginning of the game. But it's also when you look at it, it's a bit ridiculous at times because like you'll come across like a clear door that's like you have to force push it down, and he's like, oh, I can't get through here. But then
Can't get through.
like 30 minutes later, there's a door that you have to get through for story reasons, and then he decides to remember the force push. And it's like, why don't you just remember that 30 minutes ago? The fuck are you
The
doing,
worst
man?
thing is the force pull in the very first cutscene. He uses it.
Yeah. Well, he uses technically, I think it's a freeze he uses in that
Okay.
one. That's how they get around it. But if it was
true.
you had to go to a significant place of power,
Yeah.
and then and then you had training with a force ghost, that could be something.
Yeah, exactly.
But anyway, it was just a funny point, and there was times where I got actually angry and I was swearing at the motherfucker. Like, Cal, I swear to God, if I have to come back here again because you can't remember your goddamn shit. Oh God.
I had to fight the Inquisitor 3 times when she was invisible and I couldn't see it, even the
because of the
lightsaber.
bugs. Yeah.
And then probably 4 times where it was just the static model standing still with the lightsabers up, but it was still attacking.
In
me.
Dooku pose with
Yeah,
the lightsaber in front
that
of
happened to me once.
That is
Oh,
so
man, I
strange.
did like 4 or 5 times. It was bad. I really struggled getting past that because I couldn't see her half the time.
That
It
is
was bad.
crazy.
Yeah.
And I'm gonna spoil the ending. This is what happens. No.
Classic Eddie.
Just speaking of Game Pass, because I'm just on my Xbox. For those who don't know, if you have Game Pass, Halo: The Master Chief Collection has added Halo fucking Reach.
Yeah.
Why?
Why
Why?
not? There's now in one Halo game. There's every Halo game.
Except for
Every
5.
single Halo game.
Oh,
There's
they've
no
added-
Halo game
Oh,
not on the
Collection.
Master Chief Collection.
I've added
Okay.
to Master Chief Collection.
Fair
I
enough.
see.
Fair enough.
So the Master Chief Collection has Halo 1, 2, 3, 4, ODST, and Halo Reach. Every Halo game. Every single Halo game
Don't bother.
is on there.
Don't waste your time with ODST.
It's a great fucking game. It's an
ODST is
awesome
good,
game.
yeah.
How dare
Here
you?
we go.
It's so good. All 6 of those games are
Chef fans
fucking
battle
great.
it out.
But anyway, back to whatever we were talking about, which was
The awards.
You started saying something about The Witcher 3. I think it was partly to do with the next topic, the next award.
No, that's we'll do Game of the Year last. The second last award is Movie of the Year. We'll do Movie of the Year next.
Okay.
Movie of the
Okay,
Year.
Movie
So
of the Year.
if you want to get that up,
Yep, doing
James,
it now.
that's some
Give
great
me a
movies
brief
this year. The
moment. There you go.
nominees.
Done.
The nominees for Movie of the Year are Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, Avengers Endgame, The Irishman, The King, and Joker.
And Star Wars isn't on
So-
here. Why isn't Star Wars on here?
Because it hadn't come out when we did the movie came out.
They're
Oh,
doing the old
because it was-
Game
yeah,
Awards
'cause-
trick right there. That's what
Oh
they're doing.
no, yeah, that's true.
It was too late. It was too late.
It doesn't matter
Or
anymore.
else, yeah, it would have been on.
Where
there,
is
but yeah.
Cats?
So James, what is your movie of the year? What are your thoughts on these movies and what's your movie of the year?
I mean, it's easy for me. It's Avengers Endgame. Despite, having some great pieces of cinema this year, I think Avengers Endgame takes the cake because it's just so fucking incredibly special. A great way to round off 10 years of something I'm super invested in, or was super invested in, or whatever you want to call it. Avengers Endgame is the one for me.
Yeah.
I feel the exact same way.
Fuck
Exact
the
same way.
rest.
Joker was
no, they all suck.
incredible.
Don't even talk about them.
So
No,
good.
I don't want to know.
Well, Avengers Endgame's clear cut winner to me. Some great movies this year, but yeah.
Yeah, it is.
Some
yeah.
incredible films, but Endgame is the best movie.
It's the combination of more than just a movie.
Yeah.
It's the whole
Yeah.
cinematic universe tying
I
up
agree.
and being tied up very, very well.
Yeah.
A very satisfying ending to
Yeah.
everything. So it's while I do love I have to say I do love the performances a lot in A Once Upon a Time in Hollywood and whatnot.
Great,
There's some strange stuff in there. Joker
was
fantastic again. I haven't seen Irishman yet because I don't have a spare 24 hours to watch something. But Endgame, I have to say, it's the clear winner in my opinion as well.
I agree. Mm-hmm. Agreed.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, drum roll, please. The movie of the year for the As Always Award 2019 is very clearly, very obviously, Avengers Endgame.
Oh, right.
Yeah. That's why I wanted to get this one before Game of the Year, because this was pretty clear, I feel like.
It's not contentious at all.
Yeah, Joker got a lot of votes. Joker was a second, but it was very clear and dominant in the voting that Avengers Endgame is the movie of the year, and as it rightfully should be.
And Joker was very good, and I'm glad we got the Batman origin story. In case anybody didn't know.
Sometimes, you have to explain it to people because not many people know exactly what happened to Batman's parents.
Right, it's a very little known, never
mentioned. And I just love that it was even in a movie without Batman, we get a Batman origin story.
We get the Martha pearls bouncing on the ground.
That's the first thing I said to you when it came out. One thing just before we can get back into talking about Endgame and whatnot, I jokingly said about Cats. I don't know if you know about this, but obviously it bombed in the reviews in theaters and stuff like that. It's not doing good.
Because first of all, it's a terrible musical. Even if you like musicals, Cats is the fucking worst pile of shit. My music class in high school took us to Cats, and I fucking love musicals. I love that fucking shit.
Hells yeah.
Cats was the worst fucking pile of shit I've ever seen in my life. And they had fucking cunts. First of all, cats are the worst fucking animal. Just to start.
Yes, they are. Very
furious.
Yes,
just the idea of fucking the animal itself sucks. And you want to make a musical where there's no fucking dialogue. It's just cats singing in a fucking dumpster, and then you're gonna have cats fucking crawling around the actual theater to kind of interact with you. I'm like, hey, I don't like real cats. If you're a person that I can punch in the fucking face and you're dressed as a cat, I'm gonna do it. I can't hit a cat. That's animal cruelty, even though maybe I want to sometimes. But you're a fucking person. I'll fucking slap the fuck out of you if you're dressed as a cat and you come up to me while I'm watching your shit fucking musical that I have to be at. And then you're making a movie about it. Of course it's the worst thing ever, because it's like the musical and it's named after the worst animal on earth.
And
sorry.
Worse. The cats have human mouths and human
teeth. It's a furry's fantasy.
No,
and I'm disgusted by it.
They let a furry clearly make decisions. Because one of these cats has like a pearl necklace. They move in this weird way. It's disgusting. Do you know what? A simple fix. Jim Carrey's The Grinch. Put that prosthetic on all their faces. Boom, they don't look creepy anymore.
Just don't make the movie. Just don't make the movie.
Make
another movie. Put that money towards something else. Save starving African children with that money. Yes. Why are you making Cats? What are we doing?
I'll tell you something that's even worse. Two things I'm going to tell you. One, when you think about it, all the bodies are CG on there, by the way. So some of them have some of them have human boobs in cat form, and they have to make them jiggle. Who's the guy that's like, I'm going to make them boobies jiggle in CG on cat bodies?
It's also like, because they're human-esque, it looks like they're wearing like a fur coat, but it's the cat's fur coat. So it's like, it has folds like a coat, but it's their skin. It's
disgusting. And also, apparently the CG was so terrible that there were like cat's feet going through the ground in the movie. Like it's an unfinished game or something like that. And Ashton put it up in the chat as well. Apparently they're doing a remastered version to make it work. So it's proper, so it's not crap.
Cats is really good after the patches.
Yeah. Cats is really good. After the 2.0 patch, it really got good. It really did. All right, I'm glad we bagged on Cats.
I got really mad. You got me going. You want to talk about fucking cats? Oh,
can't have a Kill Connor Club send off without Tyler getting mad. You didn't even say, James, I'm getting mad. I'm getting mad.
I haven't even noticed that before.
Jared does that. I say it a lot. Like I'm getting mad, but Jared will say to me like, we'll be walking around and I'll like, because I'm the type of guy. This is who I am. I either love something or I hate something. I don't really get in between this shit. And I'm very passionate either way. If I love something, I'm passionate that I love it. If I hate it, passionate that I hate it. And I'm like that in life, in day to day, about anything. And I'll just start saying something, and like slowly I'll get louder, and Jared will just go, he's getting mad. Like,
Get mad. Everyone step back.
or like for people that have watched Seinfeld, he'll just be like, George is getting upset.
This is your Ashton saying, "This is your cats boke me."
Cats boke me.
I fucking hate Cats. I hate Cats the animal. I hate Cats the musical. I hate Cats the movie.
Your animal.
Yeah, it's a shit to animal. So let's talk about Avengers Endgame, something we do like.
We
then.
did,
So
yeah.
it won. Amazing.
Good
Yeah,
film.
it's,
Martin Scorsese loves it.
If,
He said that in 1987. So
He did say that. I
He did
remember
say
that.
that. Yeah.
Yep.
What a master of cinema. What a master of cinema. I've got a question though about this category.
okay.
Would The Rise of Skywalker be
No.
nominated to you guys?
Oh, nominated. Yeah, of course.
Oh, nominated for sure.
Yeah, I
But-
think so.
Do you know
fucking
what?
win.
As much as I really, really
What other
did like
movies?
it, this ended its giant arc so much better, in my opinion, so much more
Yeah.
completely. In fairness, it got the consistent movies all the way through, right?
Yeah,
You had one producer making all of them that cared and knows every character and everything. Yeah.
Exactly.
that was probably the.
And
And,
that's
we're gonna get
not-
him for Star Wars because he's working on Star Wars now.
right, and that's so telling that that's why Endgame is so satisfying. It just doesn't really. I left that cinema knowing I really, really, really enjoyed Endgame.
I left the cinema knowing it's one of the best things I've ever seen in my life. Like
Exactly.
this was my I'm about to say my generation's Return of the King. It's Return of the King.
Yeah.
But like this is this generation's Lord of the Rings Return of the King
Yeah.
moment, where it's the
Absolutely.
biggest movie at the time everywhere, and it completely satisfied everything. There was not a thing I didn't like about it. I can't believe this movie had to do so much for me because I care about these characters so much. I care about the franchise so much.
Yeah.
And it was, I can't believe how good it was. I still can't believe how good it is.
I can't believe
Yeah.
there's people that don't like it. There's like that
Yeah.
like vocal minority of MCU fans that just hate it.
I just think
I
they're probably being contrarians just to be contrarian.
Yeah,
I think a
must
lot
be.
of people that say they don't like it is that. I can believe people don't like things, but not that number of people.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so
We did
passionately
miss-
hate it as well.
we did miss one movie that was iconic for
The best,
2019.
almost the
Here
second best movie of the year.
Here we go. Oh, shit, here we go.
Dark Phoenix.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
I mean, who does?
How do you get better in cinema, in movie making, in filmmaking
Yep. mhm.
than that? I don't know.
I don't know. I'm
And she went from one hit to another. She finished
Yes.
off Game of Thrones.
straight into another hit. Her career is just never going to end. It's just going to continue
Right,
at that
yeah.
high point.
Absolutely.
Exactly.
Speaking of Rise of Skywalker, I don't want to spoil anything, but Avengers Endgame's a big movie, but I feel like in some ways they tried to do Avengers Endgame things in this.
Oh, 100%.
They did.
It's
Yeah.
I'm
fucking
going to bring it up
obvious.
more specifically on Cinema Room, and there were some things that I'm like, you really tried to, you think you can do that better than Avengers Endgame
Yeah.
can do that?
Upon
You know,
the
I'm like,
upon the rewatch of Rise of Skywalker, I audibly laughed at one
I
of the
think
things.
I know. I think I know exactly what moment you mean, and
There's
I said
two.
to you in the cinema. I'm not going to say obviously. I said
there's
to
two
you
big ones.
There's
the
two, yeah, two obvious ones. One is more obvious, I think. Oh, I
It
think
was-
either could win the more obvious
The
award.
thing is, I didn't
actually
hate.
said words in the cinema. When,
did.
when the first sentence happened, I was like, I'm gonna finish that off for you. Don't
Yeah,
worry.
I know what you
I'll
mean.
finish that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Did.
And the thing is, I still liked it though. Like I was like, yeah, it's a good thing that
Yeah.
they did in that movie. But it's like that's Avengers Endgame. You just tried to do Avengers
it's
Endgame.
just Avengers. I think one of them works better than the other, but they're both
Yes.
very on the nose and
Yes.
obvious.
Yeah.
Even
But both
down
good,
to the way
both
they
still
do
good
they do
parts
it.
of the
But,
movie.
yes,
Both are
yeah.
still good parts of Star Wars. So I didn't think they were bad because they were trying to do Avengers Endgame.
But it just
They
shows the influence that the MCU has on other films at this point.
That's Star Wars is trying to do it. It looks at it and goes, shit, we need to do that. It's like, yeah, well, Avengers is bigger than Star Wars, which it is these days. Like, we talk about Star Wars being the biggest franchise of all time earlier, but I'm like, I'm going to be honest with you, in 20 years, we're going to be talking about the MCU.
Yeah, I think
No
it's
one.
more-
I think-
Endgame.
I think, no, but I'm thinking 20 years, Marvel will be bigger than Star
Oh
Wars.
yeah. But I just
Maybe.
I don't see anyone quoting Captain America lines or Iron Man lines, but everybody quotes Star Wars, and that's what from the 70s.
Well, I think they will
I
after
think
Endgame.
they-
I think Endgame and Infinity War have been such massive cult phenomenons. Like, Marvel already was, but those two movies, like,
yeah.
The
What
mainstream
Infinity
know those movies.
set up in the mainstream that then caused Endgame to be the biggest movie of all time. Like, Avengers Endgame wouldn't be the biggest movie of all time if it wasn't for how Infinity War ended, and then everyone talked about it for a year.
All of the memes and shit.
You know what I mean? All the memes, everything that everyone knew about it, even if you hadn't seen Infinity War. And then this last one comes out, everyone went and saw it. It's the biggest movie of all time, rightfully so. Avatar's a pile of fucking shit, so I'm so happy that pile of shit movie is no longer the biggest movie of all time.
Yeah.
And the fact that it was Endgame movie that not only is so good, but deserves to be the biggest movie.
The biggest movie of all time. With dabbing Hulk. That is the premiere. Yeah,
Oh,
exactly. Yeah, definitely. Best highlight of it right there.
And just the way it wrapped up, Iron Man, all the original Avengers, and my fucking boy Cap so perfectly, and made this character that's so obscure, that's so hard to do, like Captain America, and perfectly nail his storyline in every way. Yeah. Perfectly nail the end of the Avengers of this era. Perfectly nail Iron Man, and then set up what's going to be a very exciting next chapter. And, you know, Spider-Man Far From Home followed on from Endgame so well as a perfect, like, next movie. And, you know, thankfully Spider-Man's around the MCU for a while longer, and we can continue on and enjoy this great series. And even Black Widow, like, I was skeptical, but this trailer the movie looks fucking awesome.
Yeah,
based on the trailer.
I liked it. I liked the trailer. Yeah. Basically, what it was all the important women had braided hair. That's all I got from that. That's how you can tell. That's how you could tell, yeah.
But also, like, I didn't realize that the young blonde Florence, whatever the fuck her last name is, who I've been telling James, I'm like, James, I promise you, this is what they're setting up. This is the point of this movie. Because everyone's like, well, what's the point? She died in Endgame, spoilers.
What, Tyler?
Yeah,
what do you mean? No.
Yeah.
Just came out yesterday.
Her movie's coming out next year.
Yes.
You can't just say that.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
I can't believe this.
I'm sorry.
Cool Tyler.
But I think that I've been saying to James, I promise you, the way they're doing the Hawkeye show to set up Hawkeye's daughter, they're setting up the next Black Widow in this movie. That's the point of this movie, and it's going to be this blonde young girl that's Black Widow's sister. She's 23. The actress is 23. They've got fucking 15 years to fucking do shit with her, and she looks like Scarlett Johansson but young. Like, they've literally just like, we're gonna find a younger Scarlett Johansson, get rid of Scarlett Johansson by killing her off, find a younger, hotter one, and then we've got her for 15 more years. And when she's older, worn out, when I say older, worn out, because she's a woman, it's by 30. And then we need to find.
The peak is right now, really, like around 18 to 20, and then after that, it's all downhill. After that.
It's all downhill. Whereas, like, you know, you got Robert Downey Jr. is 52. He's ready to go. We could do another 10 years with him.
A man's like proper peak is, I would say, roughly around about the 40 mark, something like that, 40 to 50 range, something like that. And really,
I'd say just always, you know, from 18 to.
I mean,
you die.
We
you
get
sort of hit the lottery by having a cock.
Exactly. We get to like 98% at around about 16.
Yeah.
And then it's just all the way in that, and then it goes that last 2% towards about 50, and then afterwards it starts to taper off just a little bit to about another 80. 97 when you get to about 80 years old. That's about it. Yeah. So just men right there.
Yeah.
Good for you.
Good men. Brave men. Brave successful.
Now we get onto the grand finale, the main event award, Game of the Year. For all the gamers out there.
The big one.
Not a big year for games. Not like 2018 was.
Strange year.
Very strange. Very ups and downs. A lot more downs than I'd like to admit.
Yep.
But the nominees for Game of the Year, we got 5, I think, really solid games. I think there's more than 5 solid games, but these are 5 very solid games. Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order. Yep. Kingdom Hearts 3. Modern Warfare. The Outer Worlds, big surprise, and Death Stranding.
Mm-hmm.
Now, we'll start with you, Eddie. What's your Game of the Year and why?
Okay. I'm going to say Death Stranding.
Okay.
Because you know how I said earlier about the alien thing, how it's very creative and imaginative, it's something completely different and someone's imagination came up with that. I appreciate that a lot, and that's what they did here with Death Stranding. They not only did they come up with an enemy type that seemed interesting, even all the tiny little world building things, like they came up with essentially physics lessons for me for how this chiral network thing that they've invented, how that's going to work, and where it came from these BT things in the sky, and how a scientist would study any phenomenon and actually come out with a technology that would help society and help humans and better themselves. And it was real. I was like, wow, if BTs were to be a real thing and pop up suddenly, this is what would happen. People would study it and then use it to their advantage to send data across the beaches, to send it to another part of the world. And I was like, wow, like they didn't just come up with a big bad guy and then that's it, and then just say future reasons or something like that.
Yeah.
They actually thought what it would be like to be, and I was like, that's insane. You've done a really good job here. And I do love all the acting. There's obviously star actors in all of them.
Yeah. And of course, we are the whales.
We are the whales, of course. Yes, we are the whales. That's right there. I figured that out myself before the game came out.
You broke that.
I broke that for everyone.
You broke that news.
I broke that news.
You just broke that news. You did.
There we go. So that's the reason why it's my one. It is fantastic. It's very, very long, and there is a lot of walking simulator in between. Yeah. But when you do hit those story beats, and when you do something... I'm not going to spoil it, but there was one moment where I acted in a different way and it caused something to happen. And I was like, you didn't tell me to do that. And I did that because I felt the world that was what I needed to do, because you set it up so beautifully. And I was like, this is actually a very, very good game. Not to take anything away from other games like Modern Warfare. I loved the campaign there. Jedi Fallen Order. The ending was phenomenal and it scared me. I'm not going to say any more. But Death Stranding, I think, is my one.
James, what about you?
Look, I think all of these games are really good games. It's a bit difficult this year because last year we had like really big stuff like God of War, Red Dead Redemption 2. There were big games. So it's easy. It's just easy to pick.
I think the two best games of all time, in my opinion, the two best games of all time came out last year.
I agree.
That's fair.
But this year, I mean, there's a lot of good, like all of the games I think nominated were good games in their own right, but they're very closer to each other, so it's a tough one. But for me, I mean, it's got to be Kingdom Hearts 3. Kingdom Hearts is so special to me, and Kingdom Hearts 3 was fucking brilliant in every single way. Okay, not every single way. There it has flaws, but the point being, it's a great game, and
they're fixed, James. It's fixed.
It's not fixed yet. It's not fixed yet, though, is it? Look, this is base KH3, which look, it's still my game of the year easily. It's easily my game of the year. I can't pick any. I could not, in good conscience, pick anything else over Kingdom Hearts 3, and nothing else deserves it in my mind. I love Kingdom Hearts 3 just too much. It's a brilliant fucking game, and it deserves it in my mind. But everything else was so good too. Like I love Death Stranding. Outer Worlds was a brilliant RPG. Modern Warfare was such a great game and a great like nostalgia trip as an old school Call of Duty fan. And Jedi Fallen Order is a brilliant Star Wars experience. So they're all great, but KH3 is my pick.
Yeah. Me personally, it's not even close because I've only played 2 of these games. But Kingdom Hearts 3 is... I can't really put into words how much it means to me. It's the most important game of my life. It's like leading up to it and playing it. It's my favorite franchise of all time. It was the first game I ever owned on PlayStation 2. It was the first Kingdom Hearts. It's my childhood. It's the game I've been waiting the longest. I waited 13 years for Kingdom Hearts 3. It's the story that I've followed the most of every game franchise. It's lasted the longest for me, and yeah, nothing's more important to me. And this was to me the most important game. And why I like anything and why I enjoy movies, games, TV shows, the most important thing to me is always characters. It always has been, always will be. And the cast in Kingdom Hearts is my favorite cast in games. Mm-hmm. And what it did for the characters throughout the whole thing was so amazing. I cried so many times playing this game.
Too many times.
Like, just, it was incredible. It's my favorite Kingdom Hearts game. Even base, it's my favorite Kingdom Hearts game. But I think of it differently the way James thinks of it. Like, and it means a lot different to me than what it means to James. It's his favorite franchise too, and I get that. But it's a different thing. Not more or not less, it's just a different thing it means to me. James has played the Kingdom Hearts games as like a person that plays games, very experienced with games. Kingdom Hearts to me is like the beginning, the middle, and the end of my gaming life, sort of thing.
Mm-hmm.
And once I finished it, I really didn't play games for about 6 months because I was kind of like, well, I'm kind of done with games forever now because I've completed it. I've completed games. This was all I was waiting for, and now I can move on with my life and grow up. I don't know, but Kingdom Hearts 3 was everything I wanted it to be. It was everything I wanted it to be. And it delivered in every way. Gameplay-wise, I fucking love it. Other things that could be better, sure. But I also knew they were going to make a fucking final mix. I knew that going. I'm like... Because I also played Kingdom Hearts 1 base, Kingdom Hearts 2 base when they came out. And James goes on about Kingdom Hearts 2 Final Mix, the greatest thing ever, blah, blah, blah. I'm like, yeah, but I know Kingdom Hearts 3 is going to have Final Mix, and it'll be fucking way better. It'll be so much better. And I even said, when like the biggest flaw being something like boss battles and Final Fantasy characters not being Kingdom Hearts 3. And I did say to you, James, I'm like, I'm telling you, they're going to put it in the Final Mix. I'm telling you they will. And when we got that last trailer for the Final Mix, I'm like, well, I told you.
God.
This is going to be
so
the
happy.
best.
I was so happy. They're doing everything. Like fucking explorable Scala, Final Fantasy, data battles, extended story stuff, adding in cutscenes to flesh things out, other playable characters.
Plus the epilogue. Plus an epilogue.
Yeah, exactly. And other secret bosses too. Gameplay balances and stuff. Like I mean, it's. I think
every criticism you had is now addressed.
Yeah, I mean, maybe not every criticism, but it's very, very,
other than
very
Xehanort. Other than Xehanort.
Yeah, I mean, I'm fine with that now. My other main criticism is just the way it controls is not KH2, and also the player agency with limits and with forms is still not fixed. But other than that, it's so very close. Like it's gonna be way closer to KH2 Final Mix. I think it's very safe to say this will easily be my second favorite Kingdom Hearts game once Remind comes out. But it's gonna be so very close to KH2 Final Mix. Easily, but I'll have to wait until I finish it. I could finish the whole thing and be like, yeah, that's definitely my top game. But I think it's very safe to say it will easily be my second after Remind. Yeah. So I can't fucking wait. I cannot fucking wait.
Yeah. Everyone always goes on about how I don't rate Kingdom Hearts 2 Final Mix, and like I do, I fucking love it. But none of you understand the relationship I have with Kingdom Hearts. None of you understand it. It's very different. All of you are noobs. You've been playing Kingdom Hearts for about a week and a half, and you're telling me how to think about it.
Data battles on critical,
and you're telling me how to think. What do you mean I can't? What does that even mean?
Have you done it? Have you done data battles?
I haven't
on critical?
even attempted.
No, of course you haven't, because you're too scared.
Because
you're not an epic gamer. You're too scared to do it. You're just clinging onto the story. You're like, oh, I love the story. That's all I play for. It's not. It's because you're too scared to even try the data battles. But it's okay. I understand. You're not an epic gamer. It's
you're
alright.
Not a real gamer, Tyler. That's it.
Yeah. Well, at the end of the day, I've been playing Kingdom Hearts for the last 17 years, and you've all come on.
Do you want
to know why you love? What's your favorite franchise, James? Just answer me the question. What's your favorite franchise?
It's Kingdom Hearts, yeah.
Oh, hang on. You're welcome, because I gave that. Because I gave that to you.
You did. I'm still better at it.
I gave it to you. You're welcome.
Cut out for a second,
you're welcome. This whole community that loves Kingdom Hearts now, and everyone always like, oh my god, thank you so much, James. And I always reply to people that send James tweets. I always just reply, you're welcome. Because don't thank James, it has nothing to do with James. The first time I brought up Kingdom Hearts, he made fun of it.
Hey, look,
he made fun of
to be fair, I didn't actually make fun of it. Luke made fun of it. And I was like, look, it looks funny, but there was intrigue in my voice. So you can go back and listen to it. I was always interested. So
you're all
that cartoon game, right?
Shut up.
The kids game.
That cartoon Frozen thing, the Horsey and Fox thing. I've seen it. Yeah, I've seen it.
So Kingdom Hearts 3 is definitely
KH3 100%.
Game of the year.
Yeah,
game of the year. Now the winner. the official winner of the As Always Awards 2019 Game of the Year is Jedi Fallen Order.
Fixed. It's fixed. Fuck that.
See, this is the thing.
False.
We have two people on this podcast that have played and finished the game, and we have two people that have played and haven't seen the entire
I'm like 90% through the game.
I'm like,
and it's definitely very good.
It's my second pick. It's my second pick, definitely.
Yeah, that's also
it's the second time I played, but yeah.
It'd be Game of the Year if KH3 hadn't come out. Easily for me.
Yeah.
But
So this is interesting. The Game Awards was Sekiro: Shadows Die Twice, and that's not even on our nominations. But does anyone feel like that would go above any of, or below or above any of their picks?
Below all of them, below every game.
Yeah, I agree with James on this one. Yeah, because we have good takes here. This isn't a George show where it's like the worst.
No, we don't have games. We don't have shit games on this podcast. We're a Team Dynamite
let's have a game
powered
with,
show.
Yeah. You're both on Team Dynamite, right?
I am.
I'm fuck that shit, bro. Team George all the way.
This is unacceptable.
I remember, Team Fox. Yeah, sorry. I remember like when that first happened, I was at Team Fox to be like, proper fun and make a joke about it. And then anytime George posts something that I don't agree with, is #Team Dynamite. I just put that, just
so all the time. So every time he posts a tweet, that's what you're doing because everything he says is wrong.
Every time he has a bad take, which is all the time.
I never thought, I was like, James, I don't expect him to even pick sides because it's me and his brother. It's tough. He's kind of caught between. But then what was your oh yeah, it was just like his bad takes. Just like you're thinking
I'm like,
about
I can't side with him. I can't do it. His takes are too bad. I've got to go Team Dynamite. I feel compelled to.
I love George's text. It's just so fucking good. He's like, like how Elva just likes to set things on fire on Twitter every now and again.
So bad.
So good at that though.
It's so good.
And he's like that. He's just like, all right, I know that this is the right thing. However, I'm going to say the opposite.
The difference is George believes what he's saying. He believes his ridiculous takes.
How does he feel about Endgame?
He likes Endgame, which is good.
Oh, I was going to say it's trash. Trash.
He loves Endgame.
Garbage.
It's just everything else.
The Incredible Hulk is the only Marvel movie ever made.
Rest of them.
Well, actually, I think that if you look at Incredible Hulk in this particular light, it's actually pretty good, but everyone can't see it that way.
If you think about it.
It just makes you, every time he talks, I can hear him saying it, and it makes me so mad. I went on a rant on Clubhouse. Was it Clubhouse that I went on a rant about? I started getting mad about it. I was just like, I got very fucking angry and passionate about it. I was like, oh yeah, okay. Oh, I think every time he talks about that stuff and I read his fucking tweets and it's just awful takes, especially when someone brought up, like when Elva was being fucking doxxed by those just fucking
attacked by those incels, yeah.
And then George defended the incels.
Yeah.
I'm like,
George that was the worst one.
What George is an 18-year-old that fucking listens to Joe Rogan and smokes weed and thinks he's an intellectual. It's like, hey, dude, fucking shut up. It's like, that's not what you really think, and in 2 years you'll be embarrassed of yourself. And that is why the Dynamite has come out and returned. Civil War. No, it's not a civil war. This is, everyone's talking about it's a civil war. Fucking 95% of people on Team Dynamite. This is one side bullying an idiot. This is education.
Isn't that just civil war though?
This is tough love. This is fucking tough love, James.
He's getting mad.
What this is, James, is it's death. This is just, it's a one-sided affair.
It's so bad, he's affecting him. We can hear it.
So I was having a stroke.
There's nothing close about this. There's nothing close about this. This is character building for George. I love George. I want him to be who he's going to become as a man, but I need to teach him. His dad needs to teach him, and that's me. I've got to teach him. I've got to teach him. And I call this tough love. This is what I call tough love. I call it discipline and tough love. And he's needed more of it in his life, and he's about to get it from the Dynamite in 2020. That's what's happening. I guarantee it. And the thing is, everyone's always given shit to the Dynamite. He's a bad guy. He's evil. What an arsehole, an arrogant prick. There's nothing arrogant about knowing you're the best gamer on the planet. There's nothing arrogant about it. When you prove it time and time again. When you prove it time and time again. And in this case, I'm the good guy, and everyone needs to start figuring that out. I'm the fucking good guy in this situation. I'm here. I came out of this to battle George, not because I wanted to just show up for the sake of showing up. It's because evil is happening and no one's doing anything about it. You've got this guy calling himself the best gamer ever because he's apparently an intellectual now because he listens to the Joe Rogan Experience, and that he plays games purely because there's an epic boss battle and that was really hard and that's the only reason I play games. It's like I'm the real gamer. George, I'm gonna educate you so badly, and I'm gonna prove to you as well how men work. Because hashtag gamers are men. Gamers aren't a bunch of fucking nerds in their mum's basement. Men are gamers, and I'm about to show that to you. I'm going to show that to you. Because what we're going to do is when we decide all the games we're going to play, and you're like, I've got this, I'm going to pick all fucking Doom and all these fucking obscure games. And then you're going to sit on your ass for 3 months, however long we give each other to train. And you're not going to practice. You might play the games you normally play, and that'll be it. I am a fucking psycho. I am so obsessive and competitive. I will spend every fucking waking free second I have playing all the shit games you pick, and I'm not gonna just beat you. I'm not just gonna beat your ass on the games I pick or the community games I pick. I'm gonna whoop your ass at your own game so badly, because I'm a fucking obsessive psycho. Because this is how men work. Men have work ethic, hard work, dedication. It's going to be so embarrassing, and you're going to have to explain yourself, because the only thing you've got, because you don't have the big YouTube channel like your brother does, you don't have the fame like your brother does. That's what he had to fall back on. When I fucking took his soul. That's what he had to fall back on. You literally have just being the best welfare at games, and I'm going to fucking take it from you. It's going to be so embarrassing.
There needs to be someone needs to edit this in a way, right? And like a HBO special and whatnot. And then George Lisa comes back with his own comeback. It's like, I'm gonna push him into the ground and whatnot. And there's gonna be another response video. There's gonna be a whole thing. Ashton the lad in the comment section, he goes, Tyler, you said Gerg, but I think he means George. George Boke me. That's gonna be the new thing here. And one other one that I had here as well, but I forgot. Okay, don't worry about it. I missed it. But that was powerful, that speech. I felt that right there.
Yeah, I'm
so glad I can cut promos again, because James and I, we watched the Team Dynamite and all the build-up when I was over in the UK. We're watching all the old videos we did. And I said, I'm like, look, I like complimenting myself. No problem with that. I'm the first one to compliment myself. But I can cut a fucking promo. I grew up watching pro wrestling obsessively. I can cut a fucking promo. And I'm excited to be able to do that again, because I love talking shit. There's nothing I love more than talking shit. So I'm excited for next year. I got so many plans for this that we're going to put together through As Always to make this a big production and make this exciting and build it up. We're going to do a fucking press conference event. We're going to do promos, documentary like UFC Countdown do. We're going to do some fun shit.
Nice.
I'm looking forward to that.
That's gonna be a highlight. Yeah, it's gonna be a highlight.
It's not gonna happen in fucking January. We're gonna spend the whole year building it up, developing it,
and then underperforming on the night. Yeah, and then being this huge letdown.
Exactly. Yeah.
Just like every Floyd Mayweather fight. No, this is gonna be special. And I can't wait. Because it's going to be so one-sided again. And the fact that there's so many people out there that are like, oh, Tyler sucks at games. You have no fucking idea. You have no idea what a psycho I am. You have no idea. People just don't fucking get it. Remember how many people were on Team Lasers? 90% of people. 90% of people. Team Lasers, all the way.
That was unfortunate, because that was just a serious misjudging error right there. No one should have been on.
By everyone. Because no one got it.
Oh, Gamervid. Sorry, when you say it like that, it does mean a lot more to me.
No one understood when I said I am the best Assassin's Creed multiplayer player in the world. The reality is I actually am. It's not a fucking talking shit. That's how it is. I am the best player in the world. I'm actually the best gamer in the whole community. And James goes on about Kingdom Hearts, you haven't done the database. If I wanted to, I would do it better than all of you have ever done it.
Guys, I can't wait for this
is
to happen.
What I do.
I can't wait for the follow-up afterwards for us to take the fucking crown from this arrogant son of a bitch. Right?
I didn't realize this was open to real gamers to join in.
Oh, yeah, right? To real gamers over here.
Hey, we've got a couple of men here right now. This is 4 men on a podcast. I'm doing this for you. When you've got this child,
I see,
with the worst sexual time.
Right.
I'm doing this for you.
We shall support you.
Yeah,
guys, I'm doing this for you. You're being misrepresented. You're being misrepresented. Told you're not real gamers. You're men. You're not real gamers. Hashtag gamers are men. Gamers are men.
Facts.
And fucking these children who, because they play every day of their lives, think they're actually good at games. They're not. You're a child. Your brain hasn't developed yet. Maybe you should stop smoking weed before your brain's developed fully. Maybe that's a good idea. And then you won't be so fucked up. I'm going to educate you. I'm going to educate all the children, all the 9-year-olds that go to, oh, look at Big Long-Eared Fox, he's so good at games. It's going to be so fucking embarrassing. And then I can't wait for all the fucking death threats again. I can't wait for all the death threats again because I got at least 150 last time. I can't wait. I cannot wait because it's my favorite thing. It is my favorite thing. Hashtag gamers are men. It's for all the men out there that are being misrepresented. Told they're not the real gamers. They're not good at games. Gamers don't need to play games every waking second of their lives. I play the games. The games don't play me. And the games have been playing George's entire life.
God damn.
So philosophical.
I mean,
I can't...
you've sold me. I want to beef out George now.
I want to beef George too.
I'm getting in the car. I'll be right there. Hold on.
We'll be there in a second. James, if you want to meet up with us, that's cool.
George smokes
anyway.
To make the fight fair.
Oh, God.
Who's this
Anyway.
fucking retard in the chat going, girls can be gamers too?
Obviously, and if they're gamers, they're men. What's your point?
Exactly.
We wasn't there.
Yeah.
Exactly. If they're gamers, then they become men too.
Obviously.
That's how it
Keep up.
works.
It's 2019. Shit.
It's current year. Well,
So-
that was congratulations to Jedi Fallen Order. That was the original
well done.
topic. What we were saying.
Yeah. It was. And that's all all the nominees, all the things, right?
Yeah, ladies and gentlemen.
Categories. That's it. That's all of them.
That's all the categories. That's the 2019 As Always Awards. And it's also, after my rant, the final Kill Connor Club of all time. Before we
Oh my
rebrand
God.
and rename it.
We've done it.
End of an era.
I'm sad. Like, this Kill Connor Club's over.
It's done. This is it. Yeah.
It's been a long road.
It's crazy.
I'm glad we've
Yeah.
got Conversations here for the end. They're good at killing things.
We are. So, if you want something to die, allow
Invite
us
us
to
on.
try and make it good, and if we fail, then we do that.
Invite us on. We'll make sure it's done.
Oh, take it out into the back garden and snuff it.
But it's been a long road, and we've got some great ideas for the future of this show, what it's going to be. So I'm just excited. I'm a little bit sad, but I'm mostly just excited because next year's going to be so awesome. So awesome. And once again, James and I managed to do more podcasts every single fucking year than we did the year before. Like, I think last year we did 55 podcasts. This year we've done 76. So, and that's just official episodes.
So many.
I know that more is always more.
More is always more. That is a fact. That is a fact, right
That
there.
is a
That's
fucking
true.
facts and
I
logic.
just want to. I just want to say on part of like from the perspective of like a fan and whatnot, because I did listen to you guys before and stuff like that. It does mean a lot, and to me, this stuff is going to be here. The true essence of Kill Connor Club is going to be there. So I'm looking forward to it. I'm looking forward to what's going to happen, what you guys have in store, and I'm sure all the fans of the show are as well. They're all really, really looking forward to it. I've loved everything you guys have given. Can't wait to see more of it. And also, we're going to be starting a podcast ourselves, and it's going to be called the Kill Conbrosations Club, as the guys have been saying in the chat, right?
Yeah.
So we're basically taking all of your assets. If you can pass that all over to us, that's great. We just Photoshop it a little bit and change it that way, and that's how it's going to
I
be.
mean, yours was pretty touching. I'm just here for the free press.
Yeah, that's
so-
really what it is.
Yeah.
Like and subscribe and follow me on Twitter, right? Exactly.
Yeah.
Oh boy,
This is great, and honestly, one of the things I've loved about like getting into the community, like the Discord and everything, is how much you guys put on. So like the fact that you have an award show and people voted on it.
Yeah.
Like a good amount of people wanted to have a say and be involved in the community.
That means that you built something really special.
It's
here.
pretty sick.
Yeah.
It's pretty sick.
Yeah.
Although what's not sick is we're only at 99 likes on the stream, and that's quite embarrassing.
more, come
Let's
on,
be
one more.
honest.
Yeah, that's
Bring
true.
it on.
That is a really good point.
It's the last Kill Connor Club.
We've got to
before
release
the
break.
rebranding.
Let's get past 114. That would
Yeah.
be great.
Oh yeah, that would be sick. And two idiots.
Yeah.
Look, they hit the wrong button. What idiots!
So
How
just
embarrassing for
how
you.
embarrassing. No, it's
Yeah,
just fantastic.
it's special, and it's I wanted to view. I wanted to do the As Always Awards this way this year because James and I do it every year. The last podcast of the year we'll go through what's a game of the year, movie of the year. And last year we had the 4 pillars on, and we all had different opinions. So the official Kill Connor Club or As Always whatever the year was like not really a thing. Like it didn't really make much sense because we just picked something we all could agree on, not the thing that actually was. And I thought, well, you have all these game awards and it's never the right winner to me, or at least for our community has certain views and perspective. We like similar things. So I wanted an award show that was like, this is ours. What is our community's game of the year? And sure, I don't agree with all of them, but most people do. That's why they won.
Yeah. Yeah, and it's nice to do. It's a good way to wrap things up, and it's pretty mad that we've done this many episodes of a podcast that started out really as a bit of a meme on that first live stream we did.
Complete meme.
A complete meme.
But it was too much fun. It was too much fun.
And we turned it into something else because it was, I mean, people still. One of the reasons we need to rebrand is because people outside of the community still see it as, oh, that's an Assassin's Creed podcast. Why do you want to kill Connor? Like, what does this fucking title mean? Because I mean, to us, I guess when we started, it was like, oh, we'll do a few episodes of this. Like every so often when we feel like it, we'll get together and talk about Assassin's Creed. And
I never would have thought this. Yeah,
we
developed
developed
I never in my life would have thought this.
It became something else. It became this podcast where we changed the name into it's just the podcast name. That's just what it's called. It's the KCC. It's the Kill Connor Club. But after 5 years, it is time to change it, and it is time to move on to something else and change things up and change the name so it really fits what we're doing more so than the other way around. And so, it's been fucking good. But we're going to move on and we're going to do more shit. Things aren't really changing that drastically. But at the same time, they are a little bit as well. So
it's more of a pivot than a complete change of
pace. Yeah. That's what I'd say.
Well, I mean, the show's the same.
It's an alternate timeline, like in Endgame.
Amazing!
Splinters off.
So original.
So original, guys. Give me my Oscar now.
It's weird looking back on, and even you saying, like, I know it's been 5.5 years since, or almost 5.5 years since the first one we did.
Mm-hmm.
But that's bizarre to think it was 5.5 years since the first one we did. And back then what Kill Connor Club was to what it is right now. 114 plus episodes because there's lots of specials and add-ons and plus 2 more different podcasts completely. Clubhouse, Cinema Room, everything else we've done. I get emotional thinking about it. Because it is so fucking crazy.
It is crazy.
It's so crazy what it was. Because I can remember how I felt about it back then.
Mm-hmm.
I can remember how I felt about Kill Connor Club when it started. It was, to me, the most fun I'd ever had on YouTube, that stream we did, James. At the time, it's the most fun I'd ever had. It was so fun, cool. Yeah. I didn't think I could really actually interact with people and meet people properly, and become friends with people. I thought it was just I did videos and that was it. I didn't really get it. I didn't know what YouTube could be, and this was the first example of it. And I just wanted to keep doing it. I latched onto it, and you and I had this chemistry, and that's why you and I kept going, and somehow we always were on the same page, and we still are about where we want things to go. Because there's always people start things and there's collaborations, things that happen, and there's always these fucking breakups of things, or people leaving to do their own thing, or people moving on. And with this, I just don't see how that happens, because we've literally always, every big choice we've ever had, we've been on the same page about.
Yeah, exactly.
We've never had this thing where we're so adamantly disagree with the direction we want to go. We're so adamant this. You'll be like, no, I think this, I think that. We have disagreements, but ultimately there's a compromise, or you convince me, or vice versa about, that's probably the right call. But the fact that something just simple like the name change, to rebrand, is a big deal. And James is the one that brought it up, but I'd been thinking about it for the week prior. I was thinking a lot about it, and then James just brought it up, and I was like, yeah, dude, I've been thinking the same thing. We're completely on the same page about where we want it to go next. And it's exciting because that's why what we've built so special. Because it's 2 guys that both know what they want, and they're both on the same page with it, which is rare, especially for as long as we've been doing it. We've been doing it a long fucking time.
It has been a long time. It doesn't feel as long as it has been sometimes.
No, it doesn't.
It does not feel like it's been
so
over
much
5
fun
years.
along the way, innit?
Yeah, exactly. It feels like it's been 2 years tops.
Yeah, it's weird when I look back at like the Empire speculation and everything. It's weird to think that was 2016 when we had that old art and stuff. I don't know. It just feels like it was. It does not feel like we've done so much and it's been this long. And the amount of iterations of the logo and the art that we've had as well. It doesn't feel like there's been that many, but it's been like five different art styles and everything. And the podcast has developed. Yeah, I can't wait. I cannot wait.
And I love that we rebrand it's like a TV show season. That's like how it's kind of become like every year when we take a break, we rebrand and we relaunch. It's like the next season of the show. Yeah. And our 2020 season is going to be our biggest, as each year's our biggest. And the fact that we've been doing fucking Clubhouse for 3 years.
That is insane. That makes no fucking sense.
That's more crazy.
That doesn't make sense.
3 years. Next year will be the 100th episode of Clubhouse.
Fuck? What the actual
Next year will be the 100th episode of Clubhouse.
I just don't understand that. That makes no sense. How is it been that long? We've been doing
Cinema Room 1 year and we've done 20. We're up to 27 episodes of Cinema Room. I'm like, holy fuck, that's a lot of episodes already. It feels like we just started it. But there's it's got a solid. It's a proper long podcast now that's got lots of episodes and a lot of content in there.
Yeah. And it's weird that next year as well, it will have been 3 years since we did the multiplayer battle as well.
Holy fuck.
It doesn't feel like it's been that long.
This
is all really touching to hear. It's really, really fucking touching.
I mean, I've been touching myself.
Right.
So have I.
Same. I'm glad
we're all doing it. Yeah, I'm glad we addressed that.
So it's not just alone. There we go. I was gonna say as well. It's touching and it's. I don't know if you're feeling this as well, but I'm looking at them and I'm like, these guys are such good bros and such good friends. It's kind of like
so
us.
Weird.
It sounds like the beginnings of us, and I'm like, are we gonna be like
about
that?
A year ago? Both of us, completely out of nowhere, were like, yeah, I've been thinking about doing YouTube again. Yeah, me too. I want to do something like a podcast. Oh, what about this? Or, well, we can't go with the Inside Eddie show. It just doesn't fit anymore.
Yeah.
Well, let's rebrand.
Let's make our own. Yes.
And we had to go through the whole rebranding thing. And very similar. This is one of the things that sounded so strange was that you had the same ideas around about the same time. Any major decisions, you're pretty much all on the same page for. It's very cool to watch.
Or if anyone can convince me of anything, it's you as well. He gets me.
So it's cool, and I'm really hoping you guys grow a lot so that I can leach off your success. Because we don't have quality or content or creativity.
What do you think I've been doing the last 6 years?
Exactly.
No, but you guys, I do hope you get better. Because you truly do deserve it. You put so much effort into it. And the community, you guys respond so much to them and they respond to you. You guys have something special. And I've said to Sheps as well. And I've said to you guys every now and again, you guys are true entertainers and you deserve to be where you are, if not higher. So there you go.
That means a lot. That really does mean a lot. I appreciate it. And I agree. I think we're fucking awesome. I love what we do. I think we're great.
Yeah, I think we're good too.
Most humble. He's the best at being humble.
Exactly. I would say I'm the most humble. I would say I'm definitely the most humble person. It is a special thing, and I've seen it for the first time this year properly in my life in person. Because it's always been that thing. It's I do podcasts, do all this stuff. It's amazing. It's great. And, James is one of my best friends, even though I haven't met him ever in real life and all this stuff. But once I went to the UK and we were doing stuff in person, it wasn't just that side part of my life anymore. It's this is real. And you meet all these people and people fucking best friends and they met through Discord.
Yeah.
And watching our videos or listening to our podcast or whatever. What we've done has an impact as small as it still is right now. I believe in it. I believe in what it's done, and I believe it is special. I know that. I know it's special, especially of how it shouldn't exist. Because I'm a dude from Australia. James is a dude from the UK. There's literally no reason we should, in the world that we should have met or talked ever in our entire lives. We should have gone our entire lives and never known each other ever.
Yeah, that is strange.
It's very cool.
Here we are.
Yeah.
And it's impacting other things. Discord is 100% because of the meetup. The fact that we joined your Discord because this has been a lot of fun, and then we made our own Discord.
Your ripple effects are so impactful.
I don't know what I would do without Discord now.
Yeah,
and that's entirely just from turning up to a meetup.
to a meetup that you guys have put on, something
Yeah.
you guys have fostered and created. It's
I mean, in fairness, we were going to meet our subs because back in the day, you guys were subscribed to us, if you remember.
That's true. You guys were our fans. So.
Yeah, don't ever forget that. No, but
Yeah,
really, it's not only is it cool watching you guys build something and grow it and improve and add products isn't even the right word, just like add content. So you got like the cinema room, the clubhouse, and you know, and just continually like refining what it is that you do and your content and your community, and then seeing how that spreads out and affects people. Like I'd guarantee there are tons of people now making YouTube videos because they got inspired. Because they thought, look, if James Welford can do this, literally anybody, the bar is so low.
You're not wrong. You're not wrong.
Wames Gelford, if he can do it.
Yeah, Wames
Gelford.
Yeah.
So they're like you've now made content creators.
Yeah,
you've
inspired someone, and like communities when they get bigger and bigger, there's gonna be even more things I bet that you're never gonna see coming. Like 2 people are gonna meet and they're gonna fucking like
you're gonna get invited to a wedding.
A wedding. You're gonna be like, bruv, you're the reason why I met this girl or guy or whatever.
Yeah.
And
I mean, I don't know about that. Our community is a real cockfest, but like.
Well, I mean, I've met. I was gonna call you James for a second. I met Sheps, and we're in love, and we dock and stuff like that.
True. I mean, yeah, definitely could be 2. Yeah, it could be 2 guys that get married, but I don't see. Yeah.
I mean, Cardboard Ducks getting married.
Oh yeah, Cardboard Ducks.
I mean, we didn't get an invite, motherfucker. But
yeah, would we have gone to Ireland anyway? But one day it might happen, and that's because you guys have that effect. You have a powerful effect on people to bring people together and to inspire something. And you guys don't see it because you're in it, but we see it because we're part of that.
I mean, maybe Tyler sees it.
Tyler's a visionary.
He's a visionary.
Yeah,
visionary. Well, this is another thing about James and I is that we know and have our strengths. And it kind of just is yin and yang, because I can't make videos like James can make videos. I can't put together amazing like logos and art and designs, and I don't have the mind for it.
It's true. Some people would call you a talentless hack.
So, I don't know who those people are. I don't know who those people are.
Yes.
Whoever they are.
Yes.
They have a point.
Yeah. That's so fucking hilarious.
I'm in that exact same boat.
Yeah.
It's, like I'm the James of it. And you guys, I mean,
it's so funny, but James is like, I think, the best YouTuber I've ever met, talked to. I honestly think he makes the best fucking content.
Okay.
Thank you, man.
Thanks for that one. Shit.
I do. I genuinely do. I think, I tell him this, like, every time I watch a new one of his videos, it pisses me off. Like, I'm like, I could never be fucked putting that much effort into a video. Like, oh, why are you doing this for, like, a video is going to be way less views than another video, but you put so much effort into everything, and he's so fucking talented, it's ridiculous. And I just get to be a guy that he's friends with and go, okay, James, this is what we're doing because I have this idea. And James goes, that is a good idea. I'm like, now I can't do it, so James, you're going to have to do it. So there you go.
And I'm like, I already did it. Don't worry about it. I already did it.
I already did. But that's what, like, it is, like, I've always found it to be that a perfect team thing where I get to have my outlet to talk and be a dickhead. And James is just this person that's able to perfectly, I'll have an idea, but I can't do it. He's the one that's perfectly able to hear me talk my ridiculous shit and be like, yeah, I know how to do that. And he makes it better than I could have imagined it. Like, here's my idea. He goes, yeah, let's do that. And he does it. And I'm like, oh, wow, I didn't think it could be that good. Shit. He's like, yeah, well, that's how I would see it.
Yeah,
how I would have
do
done
my
it.
best.
Like, yeah.
I do try.
Yeah. It's brilliant. And I can't wait. What we're going to do next is going to be fucking spectacular. And I have all these ideas for it. And I've told James about them. But I know that James will put it together and it'll be way better than I actually thought. I was like, oh, I didn't think of it that way. And you're like, well, how else could you have thought of it other than like this? And I'm like, yeah, fair enough. That's fucking true.
We do some good shit. So what you're saying is I'm really, really good at everything. And what do you do?
You're another thing. Backup guy. You're Chloe. Who's the chick in 24 where the guy goes?
Now I'm gonna stop you right there because first of all, Sheps, how fucking dare you? And second of all, what I'm saying that I bring to the table is doing all of the ideas and forcing it to happen.
Yeah.
Because
you're the organization man.
Listen,
I literally know for a fact there would be no. I forced everything we do at As Always into existence. That is my one job. James does everything, but I force it to happen.
Yeah.
I'm like, I want to do this. James are doing this. Because I could just one day stop messaging James about stuff and like kind of get lazy, and James will just kind of like.
It would die. It would die.
and
James would just go on with his life, and he would just be like, I guess I don't do podcasts now. Like he would be kind of confused.
Yeah, I'd be like, I'd chase it up a bit. I'd be like, what are we
YouTuber.
doing? Like, what the fuck's going on? And you'd be like, oh, I'm just not feeling it today. And I'd be like, okay.
Yeah, that would be it.
I'm just gonna keep going on. Like, I don't care. Whatever.
James will be fine without me. This is what I do. If in terms of content creator, As Always, what I do. Whereas James is gonna be fucking fine. He's gonna do what he does.
Yeah.
But yeah, as always, I'm just gonna keep forcing it into existence, and every new idea that I have, I'm gonna force it into existence, and James will make it.
Relationship, I think.
very healthy relationship, right?
And James will make the best thing possible. It's perfect because James is very agreeable. That's why it is that actually a perfect relationship. Because I'll just go, okay, yeah, you just tell me where to be, and I'll be there. I'll do it, man.
Yeah.
Whatever you need.
I'll just do whatever. I don't mind.
It's fun, but the most important part about it is it's fun and it's still fun.
Yeah, you're right.
Like that's why, like, it's not a chore.
That's
and
because this is hard work with Ed.
Very hard work. I'm trying.
Yeah, I imagine it would be. I just think back to like a few months ago, James and I recorded 6 weeks worth of podcasts
We did
in
that.
advance.
We did
That was
that.
And at the time, we're like, oh my God, we're doing so many fucking podcasts. Holy fuck. But then like a week later, I'm like, so we can do another podcast? Like I missed it. It only took a week. And I'm like, why aren't we doing podcasts? What's going on? Like I missed doing
that
happened to us. That happened to
I
us.
tell him something, and then it's like 5 minutes later or a day later, he's like, so we doing this thing? Dude, I just told you. Okay, anyway. I was going to bring up a point. So you said that you're more of a thinker and whatnot in this relationship. And if the hit movie, the amazing movie Green Lantern has taught us anything,
True.
the thinkers are
Agreed.
always the heroes of the movie and not the doers.
Yes.
As Ryan Reynolds is.
Yeah.
So all of you guys who've seen that great movie will understand that reference. Right
Arguably,
there.
I mean, not even arguably, it's not even a question. The greatest superhero movie of
The
all
greatest.
time. Yeah.
Just the best. It has the best I've ever. I mean,
It's-
let's not end the conversation.
And I mean, the CG suit, just perfection.
right there. It's amazing, actually, how many parallels we're drawing between us and you guys right here. It's actually
very
quite scary.
weird, actually. It's very weird. Except my commute's a bit easier than Ty's.
Yes, yeah. When you come here, it's not as bad.
Yeah. Well, if I moved to the UK, what a fucking change that'd be.
This is going to be another one of those Witcher things. He's going to turn around and was like, guys, I actually put a down payment on a house in England. Hey! It's in a great little place called Hackney Downs.
It'll happen. It'll happen. I've decided in this moment, just right now.
There you go.
Yeah,
Well,
it's
There it is.
we
Well,
expect,
Thanks, yeah.
I expect my 10% finder's fee to, of connecting.
Exactly,
These
there you
two
go.
guys.
100%. I'll send it in the mail. You get it. Don't worry about it. Don't need to send me your address either. I already know.
Oh, great. Cool.
Yeah,
See,
cool. Yeah, you see. Yeah, of course. But yeah, shit. That's.
We hit the full 3, by the way, which I think is
Yeah,
the
oh my
perfect way to
God.
end the last Kill
I
Comic Club.
hate that. I hate that we hit the full 3 on the last Kill Comic Club. When was the last time we hit a full 3? It's been a long
I don't
time.
know. I do
us,
not know.
actually.
I think the last time was
Yeah.
with us, because every time we've been on here, it's been a 3-hour fucking podcast.
Really?
man.
Shit.
It always used to be for like 3 years. We were always like, it's a 3-hour show. That's what we do. It has to be 3 hours.
It was always, but now we do too many podcasts. Like I don't have time for 3 hours
Look,
for
if it's
one
just-
show.
If it's just 50 minutes, then it's just 50 minutes. It's fun.
Yeah, exactly. And that's why when we made Cinema and we're like, this at maximum, like unless it's like an Avengers Endgame, it's short. 1 hour. That is what the podcast is.
Unless
If
it's
less, it's less.
KH3.
Our
I'm sitting at
movie
3.5
clubs.
hours.
Our movie
It actually,
clubs.
They go longer than the movie.
Yeah, I don't know how we do it, because we sometimes go, okay, this part is irrelevant, we won't talk about that, we'll go through. But I guess we talk about one specific scene for 40 times the length of the scene, and we end up going for like 3 hours for a movie that's 1.5 hours. We're like, how does that work out?
It's so scuffed.
that's
great.
crazy. It was true with us. Like, yeah, I can't believe how long we talked about Kingdom Hearts 3. It's like a 4-hour almost podcast.
Yeah.
With the amount of podcasts you do, though, I think if you're saying like you're going for quality over quantity, I mean it's hard because you don't have quality either.
Yeah, you
but
don't have that,
but I definitely think it's better to have a good podcast that's 50 minutes long than a mediocre or shit podcast that's 2 hours long, for sure.
Well, 3 hours long like this one, so no.
Yeah,
good.
that's where we went wrong here. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Well, your first mistake was inviting us.
Yeah, you're right.
Yes.
That's very correct. Yeah.
Only have yourselves to blame. You only have yourselves.
I'm a visionary, guys. I'm a fucking visionary. I wanted to kill Connor Club, and I thought I know exactly the two people that can help us do it.
I know the guys that can do it.
We've killed
Conversations.
Perfect.
Hit our lowest low.
Like we said.
This is fantastic.
What is the lowest low, James, of Kill Connor Club, do you think, in the 5.5 year history of it?
Oh, I think we both have the same answer to this, right?
I think so, but why don't you go first?
That time Victor was on the podcast as a Patreon guest.
100% the lowest low. That's a good point.
It was terrible.
Good point.
I don't know about this one. Do you want to explain it quickly?
It was weird. So before, when we had our single Patreons, before we had the As Always one, so Tyler had one and I had one. We both had a reward tier that was come on the Kill Connor Club podcast. And this was in 2016. And Victor, he's not in the community anymore because he's a madman. But he was a bit high up in the community, and he pledged to both of our patrons. And he did mine first, and I think that podcast was like fine. It was just like a fine, normal podcast or whatever. But then he pledged to Tyler's to get on again, and it was one of the worst podcasts we've ever done. It was, I don't know what the fuck happened. There was no energy from him at all. It was, and it brought like the whole thing down. Oh my god, it was just fucking dreadful. It was terrible. I think that was the reason we stopped it. We were like, we can't have people on the main show from this because this is terrible. It was not good.
I've seen your YouTube's comment section, and yeah, I think that's a good move. Like your audience can't be trusted.
Yes.
No, definitely not.
Neither can we.
Damn. All right.
That's funny.
Yeah, it was.
Yeah.
It was not good.
The highest high.
Yeah, I know you've had a few, especially recently, and this year, because you've had the meetup, and then we've helped murder your baby now.
Yeah.
Yeah. Thank you for that, by the way.
You're welcome. I expect my money in the post.
You hired us for an abortion.
Right,
we gave you one.
Yeah. It's what's 5 months? It's a 36-month abortion or whatever.
Yeah.
There's a lot of high moments.
Mm-hmm.
The obviously 4 Pillars in person's got to be out there. Probably is number one. Different guests we've had on. We never would have expected. I think I'll always remember the first Colin podcast being like that was the most surreal.
Yeah, like completely fucking starstruck to have Colin
ever
on his Skype.
But it wasn't even like starstruck. Like I thought it was a great podcast. Like it was genuinely a fucking.
I was like, I can't believe this man is talking to me right now. What the fuck?
Did you actually?
Yeah.
I'd already talked to him. Before, so I think I was past that, but I was so interested to talk to him for so long,
it was
and
really good.
He'd gone through so much with Kind of Funny, and that the shit in the fan, and their betrayal of him.
Getting all the insight into what he went through and stuff that he'd
never talked about it. He went on Joe Rogan's podcast, like all these things, and he'd blown up, and he'd been a part of this world. And going on Joe Rogan, I was like, holy fuck, like 2 different worlds I love colliding. And then one being our dream guest to have on the podcast, a guy that's been on fucking Ruben's show and fucking Joe Rogan's podcast has been on our podcast.
Mm-hmm.
And
crazy.
That's fucking
awesome. That is awesome, yeah.
I'm nursing a chub right now.
Let me check.
But it's the story that we're so invested in for so long about him as a person and what he went through and how he changed from video games to politics and then back to games. But he never had told that story, and I've always wanted to know that story. And the fact that he did it on our show.
Mm-hmm.
And the amount of messages we got from his, like, I'm his fan, but people that are the same as us that are fans of Colin that were messaging us going, what a great interview. They asked real questions that we wanted to know the answer to. Like, finally, we know this stuff. And I was like, wow. It was like a very cathartic experience for me because I was very passionate about that whole thing. I was such a big fan of what he did in Kind of Funny, and that whole fallout there I was very passionate about. Mm-hmm. So to hear the story, I think was a very high, I wouldn't even say a high. It was just like a very cathartic fucking special podcast.
Yeah.
That was up there,
great.
For sure.
It was a really, really good one, yeah. It was one of those moments. But it's just been so many, like some just like ones where we've just got the 4 Pillars on. and we're just talking shit. Like the one where we had the 4 Pillars and Ben on as well. I forget which episode that was, like 59 or 49 or something. I forget.
58, because episode 60 was the Origins.
Yeah. So it was the like before Origins came out podcast or whatever. And we came up with This Is My Bayek, and that was so fucking funny at the time, and like the community just like ran with it and made it into this big thing that the Assassin's Creed community then picked up and didn't even know where it came from, and that was a really good one.
And we talk about it like it's over, but like it's just a name change though.
Yeah, of course.
This is still the same show.
Yeah, it's still the same thing. It's an evolution.
As always, can't talk about the old memes. You just can't.
Yeah, that's it. They're all dead.
We can't do it. They're all dead memes. They're all dead
memes.
memes. They died with the show name.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Eddie and Greg Miller plotting to destroy KCC. Well, they've done it. They've achieved it.
They've achieved it. So you can look back on things as a different era now. So like we did reacting to some of our old videos, and I think maybe. Boys, let us know in the Discord if you want like a throwback to like a Hottie of the Month or something like that. Like I've been feeling like we should bring some of this shit back.
People were saying that was my origin story.
It kind of is.
That'd be great.
I mean, who would have thought putting hot chicks in bikinis into your thumbnails would have helped?
Never thought that would be a hit. I never
stumbled upon it.
And just stumbled upon that little thing, that little YouTube goal.
Now, it's been fun to be part of the Kill Connor Club, and now I'm looking forward to never hearing from you guys.
Yeah.
Yeah, and you won't, so I'm glad you realised that.
They're going to be like, we're starting a whole new brand, so when people search for them, we're not in any way associated with those Conbrosations. Right?
That's why we're doing it, yeah.
As always, it's never associated with Conbrosations. That's what it is.
That's it. Thank you for having us, boys. It's been a lot of fun.
It's been good.
Of course.
It's been a good one. A good way to go out, I think.
I said to Eddie that one of the best parts of this year in the community is you guys joining. It's been fucking awesome.
Yeah, it's been great.
You know, here's to many more years of us talking dumb shit and just roasting each other. It's gonna be fucking awesome.
I can't wait. In fact, actually, because I know you've got your cinema room, we're doing our movie club, but I wouldn't mind doing an addition. I know everybody's busy, but it's Christmas, so one free Christmas Day.
Yeah, Christmas Day. I've got no plans. At
all. We're like getting us all together, especially because I've been thinking about your Vader movie idea, and I had one as well. And the more I've been thinking about it, the more I'm starting to feel like we both had the beginning and the end half of the same movie.
Yep. Hey, why don't we just do the 4 of us all record tomorrow, and you release it as a movie club, we release it as a cinema room.
If that's something that you guys want to do, if you're down for that, I'm very interested.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. Fuck it.
Yeah.
You did that.
All right.
Yeah. It's
crossover episode.
It's a crossover episode.
It's a CW crossover. Oh my god. Yeah. Let's get Tom Welling.
Let me call Tom Welling.
He's not interested. He's given up the mantle. So
oh god. Damn. That's all right. Did that just live happen on the air? Damn. We did that shit. Look at that.
See, boys, anything's possible. We just took our shot.
Yeah. We just took our shot. We aimed high.
Yeah. 100%. Well, we're gonna record tomorrow same exact time.
All right, that sounds good for us. All right.
Fuck cool. Yeah. Ladies and gentlemen, you've heard it here first. Conbrosations, Cinema Room, Movie Club, collaboration. It's going to happen.
Oh, wait, that's a different universe.
Wrong universe.
My bad.
Dickheads assemble.
Dickheads assemble!
It's going to be great. All right.
But that's very everybody interested, though, in the cinema room when it comes out. I mean, I mentioned it earlier, but tomorrow on Patreon it'll be up, and then the following day, 24 hours later, it'll be out on public services: YouTube, iTunes, SoundCloud, Spotify. So if everybody's looking forward to that cinema room episode of the Rise of Skywalker, then that's where it'll be and when you can find it. So there you go.
Amazing. And that's the final podcast from As Always for the year, and then we'll be back at the end of January for our relaunch.
Yep, we will indeed.
So get excited. Thank you all for listening. Thanks for the journey, 5.5 years with the Kill Connor Club. I'm going to miss the name, but I'm more than anything just excited for what's next.
Yeah.
And we're going to keep the numbers. It's going to be As Always Podcast episode 115 because it's the same show.
We're not starting from scratch. Yeah. Just
if we named it something weird.
Season's easier. If you were just like As Always one. Just saying.
Yeah, exactly. True. But also...
Can't be bothered.
It's the same show, and we've done
It's
114 episodes. It feels
It's the
annoying
same.
to be like, well, it's one again, but it's not, is it? Because if we were like, because you get up to As Always Podcast episode 100, it's like it's the 100th podcast, but also it isn't. It's the 214th. So
Yeah.
Good point.
yeah,
There's that.
yeah. But yes, thank you all for listening. Appreciate the fuck out of you. Thank you to Eddie and Sheps for joining us.
Thank you very much.
Thank you to every guest that's ever been on the Kill Connor Club podcast, and
For sure.
I can't wait for what's next.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
All right. Well, let's wrap this thing up. Thank you, everybody, for listening. Thank you to our Patreon producers over on patreon.com/as always, Josh Devillier, King Richard III, Smexy Dork, Real Cinema in Hawkins, aka H+12, and Seth. You bloody fantastic. If you want to join them over there, like I said, on tomorrow, probably, I don't know, early afternoon UK time, will be the Rise of Skywalker Cinema Room episode. We're going to be joined by Conbrosations, so that'll be good. So if you want to get a day's early access to that, that's over there tomorrow. But like I said, it'll be out public services the following day, 24 hours later. But also, not only that, you always get a week's early access to the Cinema Room podcast, as well as exclusive access to the Clubhouse podcast, which is the best podcast that we do. And you're missing out if you're not a part of it. And it's just $1 to get access to everything we've ever put out. There's like 75 episodes of Clubhouse already there for you to listen to. If you've never pledged anything to As Always, that is 75 podcasts that you can get for just $1 a month. Why would you not? That is just an incredible deal. And I would do it if I wasn't the one making the content. So I think you should all go and do that. And to thank everybody who is pledging $5 or more over on patreon.com/as always, we have Josh Devillier, King Richard III, Smexy Dork, Real Cinema in Hawkins, aka H+12, Seth, Ballsack47, Damien, Billy the Team Dynamite Captain Robertson, T-Man or Travis, Baby Boy, Kimosabe Gamer, aka my best friend Toby, Casey Wood, Pink Flame 3 Adam Sunling, Super Tuber Ready, Alfie Rosell, Jamie Brown, Jesper Olsen, Lumistrad, Did Lotic, Mario5380, Did the Freaky with Palpatine, The Creed, Dane Schmidt, Fat Fuck Cut, Brendan or BQ Overlord, Ravjai, Craig, Benedict Parker Returns, Jimly, James and Lad, Max H, Gene, Zeke Collins, Son of a Bitch, OG Yodogo, George, Noah Watts, Furious Coco, Sab, 2557, Nick Miller, The ACMJS, Travanoski, Kassassin, Kyle, S. Jaws, Marcus Blackburn, Emil Catborg, Joshua Mora, Ginkgo Swag, Malhar Has Glorious Dick, Master Bass, Ashton the Lad, Amir the Synth Potato, Yazen, Joe the Sexy Boy Smith, Joe aka Founded Scarab, Iron Man's for the Dads, Derriday, Alfie Robert, Brian Ford, Casper, Fishy, and Ben Fryer. Thank you all so much for your continued support over on patreon.com/as always. Like I said, you can go and join them for just $1 and you get access to every single thing. It's well worth it and it helps support us. Thank you everybody so much for listening. Thanks for joining us. Thank you Eddie and Sheps again.
No problemo. It was
Thanks for having
fantastic.
us.
Yeah.
And with that
We're
said,
happy to kill this for you.
Yeah.
we appreciate it. We needed it. And with that
So
said,
from the
that's
final
it.
time from Kill Connor Club, goodbye, gamers.
Goodbye. Thanks for having me
Hashtag
on,
ends it, man.
Tyler. It's been a blast.
Thanks for having me on, lasers. It's been a blast.
Do you want to do the outro? The old outro
Me.
for the last
What's-
time? You know the one. You're never
No,
gonna
it's
be
not.
able to do
Do it.
Tyler, you're never gonna be able to do it again. I'm
Do
never gonna be
it.
able to ask you.
Never. Come
What
on.
do you? That's
is it.
not true.
Do
No,
it.
because the outro ends with Kill Connor Club. You can't end it and say as always podcast.
Yeah, don't be a little bitch.
True. This is actually the last opportunity to ever do this. All right.
You have to.
I don't really remember how to do it. If I'm being dead set honest.
Just wing it. Just wing it. It was always you always winged it. It was never the same.
I
thing.
did always wing it, you know. So yeah, I guess. Yeah, Kill Con Club's over. So yeah, thanks, ladies and gentlemen. Kill Con Club.
Oh, great stuff. All right, see you later, gamers.
That's for the people. That's for the people. Goodbye.